Sorry, I'm weird like
It's like
that.
when one titty's bigger than the other.
It's always one bigger than the other.
Yeah, but like noticeably bigger.
Thank you.
Oh, that's wild.
Right.
It's distracting.
That's bothersome. One titty being bigger than the
Like
other.
super bigger, yeah.
I'm not answering this. Make sure this part isn't in the thing.
No, it's in there.
I got a job, brother.
Right.
Can't
What
put me out
episode?
like that.
Episode 55, I believe. Welcome to another episode of Please Delete This. In the building, we got Darren.
Bim.
Genevieve.
And we got guests with us, special guests. I'll let
Yes,
them
yes.
introduce themselves.
Yeah. Wole coming at you live.
Yeah.
Pregame podcast. We here.
Yeah.
Bree.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a crossover.
Bree, aka Briana.
Briana. Wait, both of y'all from the podcast?
Yes.
Dope.
Yep.
Wasn't your podcast again?
The pregame
pregame.
podcast.
I'm going to ask stuff over and over because I have bad memory. Pre-game podcast.
That's okay. I'm just gonna treat you like Dory and repeat myself and not get mad.
I love it. Aw, the
Aw.
patience of Dora.
Two claps.
Hey, look
That's what I'm
at.
talking
Why don't we have a handshake?
Nope,
guys?
because if I put hands on Jen, I'm going to put hands on
Yo,
Jen.
Jen just gave me the
domestic
dirtiest
violence, my
look.
brother. 27
She
seconds.
ain't my wife.
Man or woman.
Therefore,
Man or woman. Male, female.
That's
violence. It's domestic. Regardless. We're in a home.
Her face is
Jesus
like, I hit that.
Wow, this is going to be
I
spicy.
wish I could hear that as an excuse. Sir, we have you beating up this woman. She's not my wife.
She ain't my wife.
She's mad annoying, Judge.
All right,
Simple
cool.
assault.
Yeah.
That's it.
Book me.
Just give me the assault.
It's a
Free to
different
go.
kind of essay.
I'm fighting for my life. Anyway, so
Yo, Darren, shut the hell up forever, bro. What are you talking
good morning, people. Good morning. So
It's
yeah,
evening.
it's even. It's
This
morning.
nigga drunk already.
Yeah, whatever.
Depending on where you are when you're listening to
Exactly.
That's
We
a
really-
fact.
Everybody.
Oh, true.
We didn't do
Yeah.
the dates again. We stopped doing it for like another 10 weeks. What's
Well,
today's date?
Sam. Well, today's the 7th.
March 7th?
March 7th.
So tomorrow's the 8th?
Yes.
Today's tomorrow's the 8th?
Yes.
Word.
Today's the 8th?
No.
Whatever. Anyways. Hello all. How are you? Thank you for listening and tuning in again. Yeah, guys, what's good? How's the weekends?
We don't do
don't do
that. We
that.
established we don't do that anymore.
Fuck your weekend, and we don't care.
I want to hear about our guests.
Yes.
Word.
Brother Wow.
What brings y'all here today?
All right.
Brother Darren. Brother
Yes.
Darren and I reconnected in
Yes.
December. He was DJing a holiday party for Achievement First.
Yeah.
And I said, yo, Darren. You know how like you go to a party and you don't know nobody there but the person that brought you, but you see that one other person that you love.
Oh, man.
Even if it's somebody that you haven't really had a lot of connection
Yeah,
with.
we haven't seen each
we,
other. in a
we
while.
best friends for the night.
That's
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah.
So I went over. I was so
Yeah.
happy that he was the DJ because I knew the music wasn't gonna be trash because the party was definitely trash. So I went over. The party was garbage, bro. They had like gluten-free mac and cheese.
I got
and
paid either way. so
Organic
that's all I cared
fucking
about.
beats. Like beats should already be organic, my nigga. Like what are y'all doing? But anyway, when I saw Darren. We gave each other mad love, and then we just had a conversation, and
Yeah,
it was
good.
really good to see him. It was
Yeah.
a couple years since I last saw him when I was working at the Met. So
Yeah.
Oh, is that how you knew each other before?
yeah, that's how we
Yeah,
met.
she used to work with Clarabelle.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, okay.
My wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bree, tell us about yourself.
Bree.
I don't
She's
know.
like, I'm just here.
He took me with him, so I trust him and I came. I hope you guys aren't serial killers for real.
Oh, stop that.
I mean,
I mean, there's got to be more to you than just
I mean,
coming
I got
along.
some
today.
tricks up my sleeve, so I'm not scared.
but
either
you're
way.
not wearing.
No, I recently joined a few months ago. I joined the pregame, and it's been amazing. So he said we're gonna be guests on another podcast, and I was like, I'm game.
Just so
here
you
I
can
am.
give them and their listeners a gauge of how organized I am. How long ago did I tell you we was going to be on this podcast?
About 2.5 weeks ago.
Okay, all right,
Goddamn.
just making sure.
That's
Fire.
what's up.
Wow.
Yeah. And I
Thanks
said,
for
put it
coming,
on your
guys.
calendar. Thank you for having
He
me.
did, and then he
Preparation.
called me yesterday and said, "Remember, I told you
On some
we're
dad
gonna be
shit.
on the podcast." And I said, "Yeah."
She forgot. That means that nigga forgot. You forgot, nigga.
Meanwhile, we're so organized. We
In
show
my
up on
in my
time.
defense, I did slip and fall, so my memory's a little
Oh,
shattered.
no.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Nothing's broken.
So,
You say your memory
Yo,
shot.
we suing.
Yeah, because I
Who
fell.
we suing?
So I mean,
job.
You want me to
everything isn't
Yeah.
okay.
You want me to represent you?
That's,
He
get
don't
that
want him.
10%?
You don't want me to
Don't want
represent.
him
Yeah,
to
you don't want me to
represent you.
represent.
well, I weighed my pros and cons, and because there's nothing broken, the most that I'll get is what I'm already getting, which is workman comp. They paid me for what I was out for and they pay my doctor's bills.
That's
so
it?
it's not worth me going to.
Not going after
Court.
money.
Damn, nigga, you couldn't break your elbow or something so we could get these.
Yeah.
I need you to not wish me harm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Knock on wood. You're right. I fucked up.
But you should have called one of those commercial lawyers. They
It's
be
your
saying
money,
they get you
yeah.
mad
But
money.
bam,
Jim
dude.
Sparks.
Yeah. It's your
Sparks
money
law.
and you need it now.
Sparks Law.
Right.
Is Sparks only auto crashes or is he everything? It doesn't matter. You should have called that nigga.
What happened to Morgan?
Morgan?
Yeah, D'Oliveira.
D'Oliveira and Morgan?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
now
it's
it's just
in
D'Oliveira.
associates.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's no Morgan.
It's in associates now.
Yeah,
Like
so
how
where
they be
Morgan
getting
go?
all tripped
Morgan
up.
dip. Morgan wanted more.
They had an
He
argument
wanted-
over paychecks.
Probably.
Interesting.
That's how it go.
So how long the podcast been going?
That's a very good question, Mr. Bim.
Mm-hmm.
So the pregame turned 4 on February 25th.
Turn 4, like 4 years? Or
4 years.
Really?
4
what's
years.
up.
We were just recorded our 130th episode.
Wow.
Nice.
And yeah, and I started it originally with my cousin Lavelle. He parted ways and life stuff happened with him, so I was scrambling trying to find another co-host. I brought on a bunch of random friends to just like sit in as guests for a while, but that's not sustainable. So I needed a solid second. So I reached out to Briana over the fall and asked if she wanted to come on and test it out. And, you know, because a lot of people aren't comfortable with recording their voice and hearing the playback or whatever. So she gave it a try for a couple weeks. She started to come into her own, and I was like, yo, you my Robin.
There
Like,
you
this is
go.
what we want to do. So
I'm in a row.
Very dope.
I like that.
so
That's
now
pretty dope.
we doing it, man.
So it's just the two of y'all and then the guests.
Well, no, we
occasionally,
have
or-
we have two honorary like co-hosts who come whenever. So like we record at my friend Mikael's house, and she jumps on and gives her perspective on things, and then my man Ike is supposed to be a co-host, but he's always late. He's got one friend. That nigga will come. We'll record for an hour and a half, and he'll come into the crib at 10 o'clock on a Saturday like, yo, what's up? Like, nigga, we done. We
Giggling
rapping.
and shit.
Yeah, laughing, making mad noise, being a distraction. So both of them are honorary, but every week consistently is me and Bree.
Dope. So y'all veterans in the game.
No, I'm a vet.
Well,
She's still a rookie.
He's a vet.
I'm in year 4.
Well,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
waited
yeah.
a long time to tell me about this podcast too, so I don't want to.
So were you a
know.
fan before he told you about it? Were you already a
She
listener?
didn't even know.
I wasn't aware.
Hey, but well, let me give them some background because her and I both were on the campaign team for Kobe Dennis, who was running for mayor of Providence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how we reconnected. And having a co-host wasn't an issue because I had my man Jamal and another person that was consistently doing it, and then life shit again. They stopped weaning off instead of calling me and telling me like adults, like, yo, I can't do it no more. I don't got the time. They just stopped showing up. So that's when I brought Bree into the fold because we would have a lot of these dope conversations at campaign events and other things. And I was just like, yo, just fucking come on the podcast.
We met each other through a dope conversation.
Well, can you tell us about the
Go ahead, you
conversation,
got
the
it.
Well,
contents?
we
of
were
the
both in
conversation?
AmeriCorps at the same time, and
What's
they
that?
had this. AmeriCorps is
You know what
essentially you
AmeriCorps is.
volunteer to be poor. So for me, it was like, oh, reality. You know,
Oh, y'all gonna pay
my
me to do what
childhood.
I've been doing? That's what's
no,
up.
we made like $800 every 2 weeks
Whoa.
working full time. So literally,
For a
you,
year,
you
bro.
volunteer to be poor. But for me, it was a chance to see if I was really meant to work with people or not. Because I had nothing to lose within that. So that's where the spark came from. But we had this thing called Justice Talks, and we got to meet different AmeriCorps members from different corps, you could say. And then you got 3 black people in one group, me, you, and Star. And we start talking,
Yep.
and it's like, this was meant to be, this is right.
Yeah.
Word.
We should be friends.
Yeah.
And
That's dope.
then there it goes.
Me gusta.
Yeah.
Flourish.
That was
Está
good.
bien.
Bien.
Está bien.
Bien.
Good job.
Thank you. That's fire. So, as a veteran in the game, 4 years worth of content. How frequently do you record?
Every Saturday.
Every week.
Yeah, for the first 2 years, it was choppy
Yeah.
because my cousin was inconsistent. I was the only constant. And I've recorded 2 episodes by myself. I'll never do that again.
By yourself, like just
Just me
solo.
talking to my fucking self
Yeah,
about
nah.
topics. longest 3 total hours of my entire life. That shit is hard. I don't know how Bill Burr does it. But so there were a couple, and there was a bunch of episodes I just had to delete because they were just garbage. Audio quality was trash. Content wasn't good. People were all over the place. Like, the conversation needs to have some type of structure.
Right.
It's one thing to get drunk and have a conversation with your friends. It's another thing to get fucking belligerent and just be like, talking
talking
over
to
each other.
yourself.
So those episodes I had to scrap because we should be at like 200 by now.
That's
You know
a lot
what I
of
mean?
episodes. Because you say you just finished 150, 130.
130. So technically we should have, if we did one every Saturday, we should have over 200. You know what I mean? So we cool. We all right.
Things happen for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Big time.
Quality over quantity.
Show no.
Facts. 2 claps.
Is that a podcast thing, the 2 claps?
God
It's,
damn
it's,
it.
it's a me and Bree thing, for sure.
Hey, Pim.
Is it copyrighted?
I mean,
Oh no, you didn't.
yeah.
Say something. Say something.
Every
No,
time
no.
you do that, though, you have to shout out the pregame.
Shout out to the pregame podcast.
Yeah, that's
That's
what
how
I
we
got.
make it
Okay.
all
I'll let it
that.
ride.
All
I
right.
only let it rock because I love Darren and he Nigerian. That's
Come
what
on,
it
we
is.
out here, beloved.
We out here.
So what
We
you're
don't
saying,
want-
Jen can't do it, but all right. Cool.
Jen, where are you from? Where are you from?
Ghana.
Ghana? Hey, you still West African? One
Yeah,
clap
we
for
out
you, though,
here.
my sister. Yeah, that's what's up.
She almost didn't want to do it. She's
Why
like,
you
all
saying
right,
on nervous? She
all
said
right.
Ghana.
I told you I don't talk much.
Yeah,
Fake news.
Yeah.
Yeah,
false. I know
you're the
that's
only
false.
person talking in all the clips on your
Thank you.
Instagram.
Thank
First of all,
you.
as the night goes on, the claps will get louder.
Yeah,
Cause
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
have
got
to.
the I'm not quiet
I'm a
braids.
gentle person.
That's a lot. Why you lying?
I'm gentle.
To the American people.
I'm a
So-
gentle.
Well,
Not
whatever.
the people.
First of all, your presence and your aura says different.
Facts.
Thank you, Bree
She
Bree.
waiting to get her shit off.
My Jadakiss laugh.
She's
I need,
waiting.
mine might say that. Then I come out of a bag on people.
I'll tell you.
Out of a whole bag.
I'll
a
tell you
tote
the
bag or a
secret.
backpack.
It depends.
It doesn't matter.
Don't
They
say
still
that.
come
Hey,
out.
what's the
I'll say the
secret? What's the
secret.
secret?
You know the secret. I just told you. When we have guests, I let them handle all the important conversation and all the questions while I get, tipsy. And then when the bullshit starts, that's when I come in.
Oh,
It's an excellent formula. It works.
It does. It works.
Word.
It
So
works.
she's
Proven
the,
it works.
she handles all the fuck shit.
Pretty
That's
come on now.
That's
She's
my
the
job.
carrier
You
of
have,
the
to,
fuck
you have to
shit.
know what you're good for. And
You know what I'm saying? I'm not
knowledge
here.
of self is key.
I'm not
here-
good at
I'm not
asking
here for the
questions. I'm actually
You're here
very
for the function.
bad at asking questions. So I'm just
So-
here.
Listen, brother man here does something extremely interesting to me, and I
Oh.
at a point in time I was like, yo, I could do that. I could go on stage and be a stand-up comedian.
You felt
You
like
said
that
that?
at some point?
I did, and then I was like, it
Yo,
was, it was-
your friends.
Listen, right?
Yo, and be the ones you trust and love that have no
The two,
fear.
no, the two of them. But I appreciate the fact that both of them are like, no.
They're cut
But,
off after
yeah.
this. Love you.
No, there's
Yeah.
a history with Darren. He wanted to be an R&B singer, didn't tell us.
No,
You
I
want to
didn't.
be a saxophone player? You
Didn't
ain't tell
tell us.
nobody.
Want to be a Mexican
You want to be
wrestler.
a luchador? You ain't tell nobody.
Oh,
Nobody.
no.
He got the mask
I
right
am a
there.
luchador. Okay? In my heart,
Way.
my name is El Negro. Okay.
El Moreno.
But my the Moreno. But brother man here does stand up comedy.
Ow.
You catch him at the Comedy Connection.
Yeah, I'll be
But
there
I-
this Sunday.
Yeah, but
Shameless plug.
what I think is
That's
so
fun.
dope is just how did you fall into stand up comedy?
All right, so the reason why I started the podcast was to get comfortable with myself hearing my own voice.
I can dig it.
And I also needed to get comfortable and used to writing. So
Okay.
not everything that I say on our podcast is like pre-written or pre-thought. But when I write out our agendas, I always write. We do pre-production. I write like I have a binder and I just write out the episode number and the things that happened this week, and we pretty much go through what we want to talk about.
Tell us more
wow,
about this
structure,
pre-production.
huh?
What's
That
this
sounds
pre-production?
nice.
I don't.
So pre-production, we kind of just it's a mic check, but it's also like let's talk about what we're gonna talk about, so we can stay on topic. Sometimes topics.
Let's
get-
talk about the
get
agenda.
left
Yeah.
off-
That
left
sounds
off the
amazing.
list.
This.
Yeah, you motherfucker.
Sounds a little stressful for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
No,
because-
but don't get it twisted. We talk so much shit. It's just
I
that
believe
we,
that.
we talk structured shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like structured shit.
Title
Yeah.
episode.
So I started the
catch that
podcast to kind of get used to that, and then I wanted to use the pregame as a springboard for me to get into stand up.
Right.
I had a friend, a young lady who was performing stand up across the state, and I was like, how do I get a show? How do I get on the amateur night or whatever at the Comedy Connection?
Who
do
was
I-
she, real quick? I don't know if you want to big her up if you don't like.
Oh
her no
yeah,
more,
well
or-
she doesn't do stand up anymore, which is
Okay.
unfortunate because she did have a lot of potential and she's very talented. Vicky
Yeah.
Vicky Pence.
Okay.
What's her stage name? Greek girl.
Okay.
So she connected me to these two gentlemen who book all of the amateur Sunday showcases at the Comedy Connection via Facebook. I reached out to both of those gentlemen. They both put me on separate shows in September of 2017, and the rest is history. First show, was whoa, goddamn, I'm here, and I completely went off script and just roasted the crowd.
Okay. And that worked out.
It worked out.
First time.
I did a great job.
Oh.
I didn't do my material
Yeah.
because I got fucking nervous, but it worked. And then the second show, I stuck to my guns. I did my material, and I was like, "Yo, I should have started doing this shit like 6 years ago." Because people have been telling me that I'm funny and I got good timing and all this other stuff. But it's one thing to be funny in your crowd of friends or in social circles.
Yeah.
It's another thing to get on stage and to deliver jokes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So. And I just wanted to challenge myself to do it, and I've been doing it for a little over a year now, 14 months, and it's been going really well.
It's very dope. Very dope. Congratulations on that.
Appreciate it, bro.
I got to ask, though.
Go ahead.
We always hear about the good stuff. Give me a night where you bombed. Come on.
Never bombed.
No.
Never bombed.
Bree.
Never
Bree,
bombed.
look at me.
She
Look
hasn't
me in
even,
my eye.
She ain't even a real friend. She's never been to one of my shows.
Wow.
First of all, you're not gonna put me out on front.
I absolutely did. Have you been to any of my shows?
Listen.
Have you? No. Listen. Anytime a motherfucker tells you to listen,
Yep.
they're about to say some fuck shit.
All right,
Have
so-
you ever been to
I'm
one
not
of my
even looking
shows?
at this one. I'm just gonna turn.
So
Have you been to
Okay.
one of my shows?
I have not.
Okay, that's all.
I have-
Nothing else that you say matters.
Go ahead.
What
What
was your next
happened
question,
was...
Bim?
No, we're here, Bree. What had happened was...
That is all, Your Honor.
No one's talking to you. No one.
No, I had all intentions of going to his show, and I make plans. I make plans all the time to go to his show.
Right.
But people who are giving me a ride flake on me. So it's like,
and he don't bring you.
Like I don't have a car.
all right,
Weak.
Bring me Sunday with you.
I bet.
And
Nigga, it ain't nothing. I know
Sunday-
you live.
Look
So
at
you-
us facilitating.
Come on, I'm here, dog.
Yeah, so let him do this. You know what I'm saying?
So
Yeah.
you said this Sunday, March...
This Sunday,
10th?
March 10th,
Uh-huh.
8 p.m. Comedy Connection. Get there before 8 o'clock because it will fucking pack out. Tell them they're there to see Wole. It's lit.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
We talk all the time about all these gems we have in Rhode Island.
Mm.
Comedy Connection is definitely one of them.
It's definitely
And it's
a gem.
underrated all the time. And like, you know, other people know about it, and you know what I mean? But I feel like within the black community especially, people don't really give it the respect they should. Like, I've
Yeah.
gone there a few times, and I love comedy shows. You know, especially the way it's so intimate and it's small, and you really get to connect with, like, we saw Michael Blackson there.
Was he there? I ain't
It
even
wasn't
see
even
Everybody
that long
goes
ago.
there, bro.
Everybody.
Everybody.
We got
Roy,
the D.O. Hughley
Roy
one
Wood
lined
Jr. was there this
This
past
weekend. He sure was.
This
he was,
past
huh?
weekend, Friday
Who?
and Saturday. Roy Wood Jr.
Oh yeah.
The dude who's blown the fuck up
Yeah.
from
We were close
doesn't-
to
yeah,
going.
he
Yeah.
was there, bro.
So and who did we go? We went to see
We went
somebody.
to
Yeah, we went to see
Craig
Craig Robinson.
Craig Robinson and the
Hilarious.
the magical delicious or whatever.
Yeah.
Hilarious. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
funny.
folks, I would implore you to go to the Comedy Connection, especially this Sunday, to go see our good friend. And if you've never been there, it's an experience. It doesn't fit that many people. So like he said, you got to get there early.
Early, man.
And there be lines outside.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
facts.
even when there's somebody there who has 2 shows in one night, like I didn't get to go see Tracy Morgan. He did like 3-4 shows, and then he came back and did another set of
Wow.
shows, or he's coming back, or whatever. They sold out so quick, you can't get in.
Facts.
And they're not expensive. Like
It's $25.
It's nothing.
If it's not a Sunday showcase at the Comedy Connection, folks, it's $10.
Yeah. And
You know
on
what I mean?
Sundays
And-
you get a discount.
You know what I mean? Like
Really?
you
Get
can
a
get a
discount.
you can get a Groupon for any of the shows.
there's
Like
no
you can go right on Groupon and get
Oh.
a Groupon to go see Ari Spears, who will be here this month,
Mm-hmm.
and also Corey Menon, very very funny African American comic out of Cape Cod. Grew up, he was adopted. Grew up with a white family
Oh,
on the
boy.
Cape. His comedy, oh my god,
Oh,
that
boy.
dude is fire. I'm going to see him and I'm going to see Ari Spears. They're both this month. The last 2 weekends of March. But like it's $25 every single show. I saw Ali Sadiq in the summer. Yo, Ali Sadiq is one of my top comics.
I never even heard of him.
Ali Sadiq is a Muslim brother who was locked up for 12 years.
Oh wow.
And he did his last stand-up special in prison, in medium security prison.
Wow.
And it's called It's Bigger Than These Bars.
That's
But
fine.
like everything that this dude does is just like he's like this big. He's like 5 foot. He's an inch taller than Kevin Hart, but he's one of the most intellectual comics out here.
I
D.L.
think,
Hughley is one of his mentors. You've
think I
seen him
did see
before.
him.
You've
Is
heard. You've
Is he
seen him
gay?
before.
Is he gay? Not that it matters, but is he gay?
No. He's just a short, fiery
No,
motherfucker.
he's just short.
He's a short, fiery motherfucker. I don't know. So he could be. I don't know, but I don't get that vibe from him. But he's super hilarious, man.
So yeah.
So you say get there early on Sunday. So for the what's it called? The not amateur night, but what's it called?
Amateur showcase.
Amateur
Sunday.
showcase.
Sunday showcase.
So there's typically a good crowd for that.
Yeah, bro.
Interesting.
That's what I'm
Because
saying. Like, we don't take advantage of these things. They
yeah,
just-
man.
So
Yeah.
does
Things are
that
happening.
mean that you guys are gonna be there this Sunday?
I just might,
or-
because to be honest, because one of my other friends, Tim,
He just started.
he
I know
just started.
Tim. I know Tim.
So I
I
told
know
him-
his brother too.
Is
Yeah.
he gonna be there this Sunday? I know he's performing there soon.
He's next Sunday.
next Sunday. Okay.
He's
because I
next
told him
Sunday.
let me know when his next joint is, but I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know they
Yeah.
had the Sunday showcase.
Yeah, man. It's
Oh.
every The Sunday Showcase is supposed to happen every single week, but every once in a while, a national headliner will come in, and they'll go to Boston, and they'll be like, you know what, I want to do the connection. And then if they say that, it's a wrap.
Right.
Connect the Sunday Showcase, kaput. They boot us, and then like the last time it was supposed to happen, I think it was because of Tracy Morgan. He was like, yo, I want to do Sunday too, and they just got rid of it.
Yeah, they added mad shows for
Tracy
Tracy, and his stuff sold out so quick,
quick,
crazy.
As soon as it goes on the website, it's gone.
Yeah,
So
because I get the emails, and I still couldn't get it quick enough.
You need an inside person. Bree, you gonna say something?
Tracy Morgan been doing a comedy connection for years. I feel like he feels like he's home there.
Probably. Yeah.
I feel like a few people feel that
He's
way.
been going there for years. So safe to say that you guys will be there this Sunday.
I love comedy, so you ain't gotta
Yeah,
twist
he
my
said,
arm.
I know. You got a whole family, bro. It's all good.
Like,
Got mad kids, yo.
but yeah,
Me and you, bro.
Not mad kids, yo.
Mad kids, yo.
I was in the car with them this weekend. My wife was going out
All
of
the
town.
kids?
How big is the car?
3 of them. Come on, man. So my wife was going out of town this weekend, and so I was telling the girls, "Hey, it's just the 4 of us this weekend," and I had to stop and go,
Jesus.
"Shit, no, there's the 5 of us."
Because
I forgot there's one here. So I got 5 kids.
Just the 5 of us.
Yeah.
He got 4 kids, my nigga.
Oh, and including him, the big kid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's how math works.
The big kids.
You right.
Lex
Quick
is in
maths.
charge.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Yeah, Lex
minus
is definitely
1.
in charge. All right, so comedy, because I love comedy. Jen loves comedy. Influences.
Oh, come on, bro. So, go
I
ahead.
could say the number one,
Which one?
Eddie Murphy.
My dad.
Yeah,
That's a good
he
one.
is Nigerian. We've claimed him as one of our own.
How
My
you
dad.
gonna just come claim that? Nah, don't put your hand
Don't
on
argue.
it.
Don't argue. It's been since the 80s we
Since
claimed
who?
him. It's
Since
fine.
who?
The
Since who?
entire
First of all,
Nigerian nation.
Then he would have been from Nigeria, not Zamunda.
For the movie, Zamunda, Wakanda, they make
That's
shit up for
fictional,
people
Jen.
to
That's
make it
fictional.
digestible
Just
for everyone.
wanted to
Exactly.
let you know.
Exactly.
And if Zamunda was any African country, it
Come
would
on.
be Nigeria.
It would not be Nigeria.
High five. Come on.
We're the richest and wealthiest African nation, sweetie.
There
we
was
have
no
been.
scamming in coming to America.
We didn't say
So
how we
what?
made the money.
Oh my
We
God.
just made money.
Yeah. We're the wealthiest African
It
nation.
kind of was when the guy took the clothes and he was like, got some fly.
That was in the
toothbrushes.
U.S.
That was in America.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Darren.
Yeah.
Darren.
And that was a nigga who did that. That was you.
Still, we didn't see.
That was your uncle who did that shit.
Nope, I'm with him. We didn't see the whole Zamunda. We only saw the kingdom.
We don't need to know how they made the money.
You
We
know
don't
that
need
the
all
rest of the
that.
fucking country was
Bye-bye.
poor. Come on, are we doing that right now?
Listen, I'm not going to
Yo,
Nigeria.
niggas is
I'm
wild.
not- I
We
know
don't. We only saw the kingdom. We didn't see the whole.
act
We
brand
know the
new.
rest of the country was poor as fuck.
With you, girl.
We cool. So
It's
yeah,
like
Eddie's
everybody
definitely
who
the
talks
goat.
about their country, you're never gonna talk about the bad stuff. So I'm just gonna take it for what you guys are saying. It is,
Man,
but
your
Just
whole
stay away from that,
Your
you
whole
know.
island is fucked up.
Oh
They ain't
my
no-
God.
Where's the wealth on Cape? On the
First of all, I
where's
did
the wealth
not
on Cape
disrespect
Verde?
This is the second time I
I
have to look
did
away.
not disrespect you. Okay.
I'm not disrespecting. I'm saying
Listen.
facts.
Listen.
Let's go.
What
I ain't got
what
no more
part
tequila
of
myself.
what
Speaking
part
to
of
the mic.
Cape Verde are any one of them laws?
Yeah,
Is it
which
6,
island
7
are your
islands?
folks from?
You from Praia,
Brava.
huh?
Brava?
Brava?
Yes.
Poor as hell, man. Brava. Only like
Wow.
7
Yo,
niggas.
Yo,
got
Wole
money.
wildin', yo.
Only like 7 niggas in Brava got like bank
He's not
accounts.
but a foot from her face and said,
How many niggas in Brava got
Hey,
bank
I
accounts?
just want to tell you,
First of all-
the Cape Verdean population that listens to the podcast is kind of high. So, you know what I mean?
Listen, they got.
They'll
they
be
want-
throwing Mac
First
and
of all,
Chupa
don't
at your
make me
show.
call my cousins because we will jump you.
I know
and
you
you
will.
know there's a lot of us.
Yeah, you got a lot of siblings. Fucking cousins.
You know what?
Yo.
Let's not go there. You know what?
Baby,
You came here to put me out on Front Street, and I
No, I
forgot
didn't.
my vest, and you're shooting.
you said you
You're
forgot your
shooting.
vest. You
I
forgot
forgot
it?
my vest, and you're shooting at me.
Is Jen, is what
Just
you're here for?
clapping close range.
Let me hold. I'm gonna host some.
I told y'all I could have stayed home.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
done.
I'm not
I
here
ain't
for
gonna. I
fighting.
ain't gonna shoot no more
First
shots.
of all, let
we
me say,
love
we're
Cape
a
Verde.
rich culture,
Word.
and before I say anything, we are
That's the
African.
only thing
Exactly.
We
y'all
are
rich in.
black.
Yes, extension of West Africa. That's it. We all here.
I'm sorry, that was the last one. Y'all rich in culture, and that's it. But go ahead, get your shit off.
You act like the vast majority of Nigerians got mad money.
Listen, we're
Let's
all
be real.
we're
We
all
got
broke.
10. We got
We're
10
all
small
broke.
islands, one of which is uninhabited, and we're trying to
they
make it
broke.
out here from a slave port that's
Word.
not connected to other countries.
Word.
Facts.
So we trying to make it.
They had
out
to
here.
overcome
Don't
a lot.
diss us.
Get
Yeah,
your shit off.
they out here. They out here. Shout
Yeah.
out to all the Cape Verde.
We're coming up.
Word.
We got flights out of TF Green.
Finally,
within
yes.
The last year and a half.
Yes, yes.
That's
Word.
what we're
There's no
making it, you know?
flights
Right to
TF
that
Green.
uninhabited island where you
Plus-
gotta take a boat to get to the islands where people are.
First of all, the
Darren,
flight
give me your
does
next
not go
topic.
to uninhabited.
Where my
let
text
them
messages at?
let them finish.
No, go ahead. It's your podcast. We can't take
Now
over
we
like
square.
that.
So speaking of podcast content, Bree, you're kind of new. Wale, you sound very structured. What's the podcast about typically, or is it just like kind of current
Bruh,
events
we
or what?
literally, it's called the pregame because we were drinking every Saturday.
Okay.
And pre-gaming at my cousin's crib, and we used to talk about fuck shit. And we was like, yo, we should do a podcast. This was in 2011.
And real quick, sorry not to interrupt. I started listening to podcasts around that time. So
That's when they started to come up.
Yeah, so what made you want to do it? Because at the time I was working in Massachusetts and I was away from my people, so I couldn't really say, hey, let's do this. I wanted until I came back around. Darren, am I boring you, my brother? Am I boring you, my G?
I don't feel good today. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I apologize for
need
yawning,
some?
my brother.
I'm good.
You want some
Mito?
like a bottle or something? Some
No
Mito?
bottle. Mito?
Yo, these niggas are crazy.
It's 'cause I'm
I'm saying,
PMSing.
Darren, we chopping it up.
I'd rather talk
sorry,
to you
yawning
than
on
be
the mic, my G.
passive-aggressive. That shit's wild, bro.
I'm just saying he yawned into the
Into
mic.
the mic, my G.
Sorry.
He ain't even-
Like, you was mid-sentence.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Are you gonna make it, bro?
Yeah, I
You know,
understand.
tequila is like one of the only liquors that's not.
I already took
depressant.
medicine, so that's
You
what
can
I'm
take
drinking.
some.
You took medicine and tequila?
No, I'm not drinking. I didn't drink anything.
You need a drink.
Nigga
Yeah,
pregnant.
he toasted
He
with
pregnant.
He
Yes.
First of all,
just to
Kyra
go
got
on
me
record,
pregnant.
he toasted with an empty cup, which is a bad omen.
I was wondering about that.
Darren's on that fuck shit.
Wow.
First of all, this is an elixir. It'll heal whatever you got going.
Tell him.
It'll wake you up. Just take a
Cape
shot,
Verdeans,
bro.
no?
I don't.
Come on, man.
Dude,
Isn't that how you end up trying to throw up in a bottle?
She couldn't even hold it.
You know what? You know what?
I got you.
Clearly,
Let me pour
clearly,
Let me pour
I
you
need to
for
be
a
riding in a bulletproof whip. It's just coming
No,
from all
because
areas.
on the previous episode, I discussed how I got super wasted kicking it with Cape Verdeans, my lady Cape Verdeans. So I was with her family, and they got me
oh, wow.
fucked up.
Oh, for
Bro,
fun.
all they do is feed you
fun.
and make you drink.
Yes, but at least you're good for the next morning because you're full. And then when you drink, you have
Soaks it up.
You have the memories that soaks it up, and you can go on about your business the next
It's
day.
facts, because
But you
y'all
know how to
definitely
do
go
it.
about the next day like nothing happened,
happened.
and drink
Because
more.
you threw up because you had all that food in your
No,
stomach.
you didn't throw up.
He
'cause
threw
there's-
up.
I
there's
did.
Yeah.
You're new to this clearly because
Oh.
there's a method to this madness.
No,
Now
it's
she's
a lot.
judging you.
I can't even front. It's a
Wow.
lot. It's a
method.
lot.
The amount of gunshots.
You gotta be
my
born
Lord.
into that
Yeah,
shit.
man.
That's a
Y'all
lot.
need to have a soundboard, bro.
Yeah,
We tried that.
We tried.
It didn't go
It was
well.
too much.
We didn't.
It was too much.
We're too.
I was asking a question before you yawned, yo.
What was
I
the
asking?
question,
I
brother?
can't remember. Oh, content.
Content, yes. What about it?
So y'all just kind of fuck shit.
No. So we,
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. 2011. You started.
2011. Yes.
So what platforms were you on then?
We didn't start in 2011. We started in 2014. Like
Oh,
4
2014,
years,
yeah.
4 years ago. But like in 2011, there wasn't a lot of podcasts. There was
Right.
like, Cadillac Jack's podcast, rest in peace, Joe Rogan, like those two guys, those
Yeah.
are the pioneers
Yeah.
to me. So when we started, like our content is basically anything that's topical from that week. We record on Saturday, so anything that happened between Sunday to Saturday, we'll write down everything, and in pre-production, we'll discuss what's worthy of us having a 10 to 15-minute conversation on.
Word.
If we go on a longer conversation about any particular topic, then some of the shit at the bottom we'll just cut off.
Word.
Yeah, and then you slip in some thought-provoking random shit.
Yeah, that always happens.
So what's your time frame for each episode? Is it like an hour, 2 hours,
2 hours minimum.
Good question. Minimum.
Maximum.
2 hours minimum.
Because y'all
Nah,
had
minimum.
No, because one was 143.
The one. How many? You've been with me for 4 months. You've been with the pregame for 4 months. One episode was an hour and 43 minutes.
Yeah, but they're not all two hours and more.
2 hours is the minimum.
And that's because you have 3 or 4 people
So that's
on,
kind of
so
like
it's
the
a lot
goal.
of.
Yeah,
It's around
our
2 hours.
airtime that we have through the software that we use, which is Spreaker Studio, gives us up to 3 hours per episode.
Dope.
We use over 2 hours.
Right.
Every episode.
Get your money's worth.
Absolutely.
Sure enough.
And we're still, like, out of the 500 hours we got for the year, we've only used, like, 40.
Oh.
It's fucking, I mean, like, and our contract renewed in, like, September. So it's been 5 months, and we haven't used shit.
So how does that work? You said it's Spreaker Studios and the contract. So how exactly does that work?
So it's a software program, and you pay a monthly fee, or you can pay it yearly, however you want to do it, and you get a certain a certain number of airtime hours. You can go live, you can go offline, and then upload afterwards. We go offline all the time. We don't go live, and we get 500 hours to record for the year.
Oh, that's dope.
And we've only used like 50 hours,
Tight.
which ain't shit.
No.
So we got plenty. Like we can, if we wanted to, we can do 300. We could do 3-hour episodes every Saturday and still have
That's
hours
time
left
left.
over.
That's
So
dope.
that's just how we do it. And then every episode that we upload on Spreaker automatically uploads to our SoundCloud Pro account.
So do you also do the editing or?
I don't edit. That's the one thing that's one of the. Audio quality and editing is the one weakness because we don't use a mixer. We use one mic. And so you know what I mean? So like that's one of the things that I'm working on as the guy who's been doing it the longest. I got to figure that shit out. Yeah. Because I'm not a DJ. I don't know how to use this shit. I look at that
I'm with
and
you.
I see.
I don't know. They tell me just show up. I don't know what any of that. That's
I see
too,
hieroglyphics.
So
I see French. I see like Yoruba. I see Hausa. I see fucking Espanol. I see Latin. I see
Creole. You say Creole too?
everything, nigga. Like I don't know what that is. Like don't touch me with that shit. Like I would if I can pay an additional fee for us to record in the studio, I would. Because I don't want to live like that.
Still,
I feel like that.
if it's simple and we can add some skills
Nah,
to
nigga,
our
no.
own resumes,
Then you do
let's
it.
You guys
Bree's
pay
willing to
Darren
learn.
to use his basement on Saturdays.
Yeah, Bree would learn. Bree can do it.
Bree can do it. Bree, you buy it, you learn it, nigga.
As you buy it, you learn it.
You buy, you learn it.
How much do one of those cost? Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
You
we'll
get
talk
a
the
cheap
numbers
one.
off air,
Yeah,
but
let's
we'll
do
get
that.
you. We'll get you
It's
connected.
cheap.
We'll get you. Yeah.
No, Darren will just rent you his basement on Saturdays.
There you go.
Don't fuck up the business.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Hold on, we trying to bypass
look
spending
like-
money. Not
what was I
we
thinking?
want to support you, but we trying to bypass spending money by
I understand.
Because you already
learning our
you
own
paying
talents.
Spreaker.
Do you guys have any advertising or anything like that comes through?
Bro, like we do. Literally, this is a passion project.
Show no.
Nice.
Like right now, it's still a passion project. Once we get the audio to the level where I am confident promoting it on all streaming services, like Please Delete This, then we'll do that. But like for right now, we just chilling.
Oh, so you're just on SoundCloud right now?
Well, no, we're on
Or in
Spreaker
Spreaker.
and SoundCloud. But we like ask Briana. I don't want to speak for her, but this is a therapeutic release for me. Every Saturday.
Come on now.
I look forward
Can
to
we all
this
hold
shit.
hands?
Absolutely.
Because this is a fact.
You always want to hold somebody's hand.
Because
though.
this is us, man. We a podcast
damn
union.
it.
Yeah,
This,
absolutely.
this is beautiful because
yeah,
every
man.
week we look forward to something with
Absolutely.
our friends that we share with people, and they laugh with us, they cry with us, they
Facts.
talk with us.
Talk about
This is
it.
beautiful, guys. Keep it going, man.
Absolutely.
It's therapeutic.
In God's
It
name,
is.
in Jesus'
Amen.
name.
Hey, just
Amen.
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 Hey.
Amen.
That's
But
dope.
that's why we do it, man, because it's a therapeutic release. We get to talk about the fuck shit. You know, Briana hates her job, so I love hearing the horror
The job that
stories
tried to
from
hurt her?
No, the job
job
that she
that
got
did
hurt
hurt
at,
her.
and she needs to blow up. I told her I'm with it, but you know, we ain't gonna say the name of the job. I just said I'll blow it up. I don't want the feds watching.
Your word.
We don't want
No
the
2
feds
chains.
watching.
I don't want the feds watching.
Trump and them
Listen,
listening.
We can get into that a little later if you guys want.
What do you do for a living, Bree?
I am.
Do you like Bree?
You can call me
You sure?
Bree or Brianna, whatever one's more comfortable.
Okay.
He coined the term Bree Bree.
Do you like Bree Bree as well?
That's
It's
his.
lit.
Is this his?
It's mine.
You don't.
You dirty dog, you. Yeah, that's his. He's the
I'm
only
not
one.
giving you shit else for the rest of
Don't,
the
you
night.
don't have to. You already gave me Bree Bree. I feel special.
As soon as they get back in the car, so
Anyone
you're
else
gonna
call
come
you
after
Bree Bree,
Cape Verde
I
even like
expect
that? As soon as they get back in the yeah, you talking all that shit about Cape Verde, huh?
Yeah. I ain't gonna give you nothing
No,
else.
but
That
Yo, Jed.
Sorry,
it's-
what do you do for a
it's
living?
bugging me that you're like holding back.
No. At
worry.
the end of the podcast,
I'm not
she
holding
won't
back.
shut up.
no.
We try to
I
wrap
think,
it so
I think
keep
what
going.
she's doing is she's observing, trying to
Yeah.
figure out the flow, trying to
Yes.
figure out how
right
things
because
are
what
going.
I don't like
That's
to over talk people. I told you I'm quiet, so I'm gonna let y'all do all this.
Kids be lying.
All
Y'all
this
see,
shit.
don't worry, y'all see.
It'll
I
happen.
see right through the. I like to listen. Get the
I'm
fuck-
a listener.
No,
I
she's
got great
gauging
ears.
so she can know when to go in, whose side she's gonna pick.
I'm a great listener.
I get it. I
Thank you,
receive.
You
Bree.
fake introverts piss me off, man. Like straight up. You are the fakest introvert. You nigga are the fakest.
Oh, Bree as
introvert.
well, is it?
Yo, what is? Yo, I'm reserved. I watch. I like to observe. Get the fuck out of here, yo. You like to turn up just like everyone else. And I don't know you personally, Jenna. No offense. You just. You know
Are you covering your ears, Jen?
I'm listening.
Oh, you're
Just
turning
Put
them
her-
out.
she
Oh,
put her
okay.
ears up to listen. First of all,
Yeah,
you
man.
made that assumption based off of your perceptions. I didn't
Get
give
'em.
that out. I'm just me.
You said
Everywhere
you were
I go,
in a-
I'm just me.
You said you were an introvert.
I
She's
am
just
very
Bree.
introverted
She's
until
just
I can
her.
figure out what
Don't
the
label
room is
me.
about.
That's
That's why I
right.
know what she's doing.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yes, girl.
Sisterhood.
high fives to
That's
need
why
this
we
shit.
did. You strategically put the black women next to each other so they
I'm
can
looking
jump us
over here.
later.
So they can jump us later.
Is that a TV?
Is that-
Man.
wow,
Oh, you got a TV on a
Wow,
TV.
look at
Nigga,
it.
you
Then they start to.
Redirecting. So, Bree, what do you do for a living?
Yeah,
I
Yes.
work at a
job,
group
nigga.
home.
I-
Teenage
oh.
girls.
Oh my God.
Yes, and can I tell you something? I'm good at it, but they don't appreciate me like they should.
And we say they, not the girls,
Excuse
but the
me for a
staff
moment.
or the leadership.
Management,
So,
they don't appreciate me like they should, but I'm good at it. Like I can talk them down from just about anything.
wow.
That's
And I don't have
that's a
issues.
gift.
I haven't done a restraint in years.
How long you been working there? Or in that
I
field?
started working there in December of 2015. and then I worked there up until September of 2017. I went to be a mentor for youth who have been or are at risk of being sex trafficked.
Oh wow.
Right here in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Day One.
I can go.
Day One's the name of the organization.
I can go on and on about the risk that we have in Rhode Island.
Bruh,
It's
super
literally
high, bro.
everywhere,
It's
and
super
we
high.
are
So
in
sad.
such an ideal location for people to stop through, pick up some kids, and move.
And
Oh,
really?
that's crazy.
No, bro,
Yes,
it's nuts.
yes.
It's
But
nuts.
we're not gonna go there.
No.
But
Damn,
then
I
I
kinda
went.
want to.
I went.
All right, go
I
ahead.
went back. If we have time, I don't mind.
We always
I'll
got
tell
time.
you.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we get.
There's always you can invite us on again.
For sure.
Hey.
But I went back to it because things didn't work out with Day One. So they basically had a job waiting for me. It was like I told them that I ended up working with the group home when I was working at Day One. And when I told them that I was leaving Day One, no plan, no nothing, just stepping out on faith was all I had because I couldn't do it anymore. And they were like, well, you want a job? And I should have known something was up because they were so eager to say, want a job? But
Shut your ass up.
if I told you some of the stories, they just don't. I know I'm good at what I do, and that's not me being arrogant because I'm not an arrogant person.
Right.
But I worked a long time to grow within myself to be able to help these girls to be the best versions of themselves. These youth, I should say, because some of them identify as male, some of them identify transgender. However it is that they identify, I love working with youth.
Yeah.
And my goal is to help them to be the best versions of themselves. And
Very
not
dope.
too many people care about them enough to help them be the best versions of themselves. And I'm realizing I really don't agree with the whole group home, the way that it's
Structure.
run. And it should be way different than what it is.
Right.
And for the longest time, I thought I could be, the solution to this problem by being this person who's in there, who's caring. But at a certain level, I'm just kind of contributing to the problem.
Yeah.
It sounds like you should actually, at some point, move towards kind of opening your own kind of situation.
I would love that.
That's the vibe I'm getting at. That would be your ideal situation where it's not really a group home, but it's a home where you offer a place where these young people can come and be supported and feel safe and not have to feel like I'm almost in a step before prison or you know what I'm saying? Like I get that vibe from you.
And it's like I want them to know that they can be whatever. The world has already started to label them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? And when I used to be I am this person. I have an introduction for the kids. And I say, listen, I have a job to do here. I have rules I need to follow, but I also want you to be the best version of yourself. So you know what you get when you come with me. You know that when I work, we follow the rules because I'm not doing you any favors by letting you do whatever you want. Somebody else comes in, holds you accountable. You get upset, you get in trouble. I just set you up.
Yep.
I set you up, and I'm not into setting you up.
Right.
So this is what we're going to do.
And I think
And
that's
they
the thing with
respect
youth
that.
these days. Not even just youth, just people in general. Holding themselves accountable for things and taking accountability is
Right.
like a lost art almost with a lot of people.
It is.
It's
And the
everybody
thing is-
else's fault.
Yeah.
The thing is to teach them. So they say, well, I did this because of this. Well, let me ask you, how did we get to this point?
Right.
And we'll have a conversation and we'll talk about it. And it's like, well, that makes sense because I'm not talking at them. I'm talking with them.
Right.
I'm doing more listening than I am talking. And sometimes that's all they need is to feel heard. And they'll come to the conclusion you want them to come
Sure
to
enough.
on their own.
Oh yeah, you kind of just guide them, and then they're like, oh yeah. But that takes a lot of just listening, being patient with them, hearing
Yeah.
them out, and you just redirect it to them.
And
yeah.
it's like
I'm-
that was your idea. You did that.
Yeah.
Right. I'm extremely passionate about it, and my approach has changed since, I think everything happens for a reason. Though I didn't have the best experience in that, kind of midterm employer is what I'm going to call them.
Yeah.
In that midterm, I didn't have the best experience, but I got to learn about my approach and exactly how I wanted to do it, and I got to look at the group home setting from the outside in instead of from the inside out. So I got to alter my approach and change it. And when you're working with youth, it's like you have to know that you're planting the seed and be able to walk away from the fact that you're planting the seed and you won't be able to see it sprout.
Right.
And you have to hope that in some situation they'll think twice because of something you might have said
Right.
Yep.
and
Right.
be happy with that.
Oof, love that.
So I'm gonna
Go ahead, Jen.
take that content and I'm going to remix it. So I don't know if you've been following this R. Kelly thing.
We here. All right.
We here. Yeah, we're there.
Might as well step on in.
Let's get to the shit.
I'm awake, guys.
Yeah.
I wish I could have been Gayle King. I'm just gonna say
Girl,
that.
listen. You know what? We all are Gayle King. And
Come on, Jen.
But I would be her. I would literally be her because I'd be like, "Are you down?"
that's it. That's what I've been saying all week.
Robert.
I'd be like,
That's every black woman.
Robert.
You
Robert.
gonna,
Call that nigga Robert.
look, Robert. Is Robbie better? You're gonna need to
Not
sit
Robbie.
down.
Because that's what it is. And the thing that's been pissing me off all week is not all week because it just started yesterday, but like since yesterday, everybody's like, "Oh, we want to praise Gayle King, and we were concerned for her safety." First of all,
Safety?
somebody said
Somebody
that.
Gayle
said
wasn't
that?
concerned for her safety.
She's fine.
Her legs
yeah.
were still crossed the whole time. She
whole
was
time.
not
The
concerned
whole
for her
time.
safety.
When
She
I
knows
watched it,
what
I
time
wasn't
it is.
concerned for her safety. I'm
Right.
like, he ain't gonna do. I never
She
even
said
thought
she
to-
said just like this. He got up, started yelling. She said he ain't crazy.
She reclined.
He ain't
She
that
said
crazy.
he's upset. He ain't crazy.
She got more comfortable.
He ain't
Yeah,
that
do you
crazy.
know who her best friend is?
Oprah.
Niggas is wild.
By the
Gayle
way-
ain't pressed.
By the
Yeah.
way, Oprah did tweet about it, and she was like, "CBS, we need the whole thing all at once."
Oh,
I
they cut some
retweeted it.
stuff out.
Because what they doing, so anyone who doesn't know, Gayle King has interviewed R. Kelly, and CBS
I call that
Morning
nigga
News,
Sylvester now.
because
That's
that's his middle name.
right?
Yeah.
That's rude.
Well, go ahead. The fucking
Slide.
that's rude. It's rude
Slide
to
in
the
the family
to the
stone.
serial
R.
child
Slide
rapist.
Kelly.
So what they're doing is every morning for CBS Morning News, they're showing little clips like every half an hour. So at 7 o'clock it starts. I show like 6 minutes. Then Gayle King will talk with her co-host, and then at 7:30 to show a little more and blah blah blah. So they're showing the whole thing Friday, tomorrow night. I know they're not paying me to plug this, but tomorrow night they're gonna show the whole thing in entirety.
You're locked in, huh?
Yeah, because you know
I am too, bro.
I'm invested
I
in
won't
this
watch,
R.
I
Kelly
won't
shit.
watch a minute of it.
I love watching
Not I.
train wrecks.
Yes, that's exactly what
Right.
I've been saying all
And
week.
you're a host of a pod. You guys are all.
We need the
co-hosts of a
content,
podcast.
yeah.
It's not about content. You're a journalist.
You need
Indirectly.
to be
Facts.
involved.
Facts.
So you have to pay attention to everything that is media.
And
Right.
I wrestle
Fair.
with that because, so I see that, right? One thing I'll say, best memes ever come
Yes.
from
Oh
these
my
things.
God.
The internet
Oh.
wins. You said it earlier.
The internet
The
wins.
internet
It-
wins hands down.
But for me, it's like,
time.
unless this man is fessing up, unless this man is confessing,
you don't want to see it.
nothing good has come from an R. Kelly interview except humor, right? Cool.
Got you.
But
I
outside
know
of
where
that,
you're going.
you know what I'm
The thing
saying?
is,
Like,
I wouldn't say it's even humor. I think that we as a culture find humor in it. The
Yeah.
shit itself is not funny.
Well, we've
like,
been
it's
finding
really
humor
sad.
and shit. We
Yeah, it
shouldn't
is.
find humor. in.
Exactly. We find
know.
a way
Right.
to cope.
Let me push
using
back.
humor.
I'm gonna
so
play devil's
CBS, real
advocate.
quick, CBS
Yeah, yeah.
and all these other outlets, it's ratings for them.
Yeah.
Of course they'll take the R. Kelly.
And
They're not
that's-
going to
of
get
course.
shit out of
And
it.
that's why
Okay.
they're dragging it through 3 days.
Right.
Yeah.
But the fact that
So,
Gayle
what
is
were you gonna
friends with
say?
Oprah.
I want to push back and play devil's advocate because I saw somebody, a rapper who's like from Woonsocket, Rhode Island, who's like super popular, who
Who's that?
posts.
Stop, Jen.
That's what I'm saying. No. I'll say his name because it's a shameless plug, and I ain't got no problems with this brother. His name is Sky Jones. He posted on his Facebook earlier, like, everyone's laughing at these R. Kelly memes, but the fact still remains this man is a child rapist and da-da-da-da, and he disrespects women and da-da-da, essay domestic violence, da-da-da. Cool. We're not laughing at what he did.
No, not at all.
With this interview, we're laughing at the fact that this grown-ass man
Is
is
throwing his
lying
tension,
and acting his ass off, and the fact that the internet has an opportunity to pull different moments from this. Like it's an egregious interview. Like you said, it's an egregious interview. It's like, my nigga, you have not held yourself accountable
Right.
or admitted to anything.
Right.
But all the evidence suggests that everything that Gayle is asking you about is already true.
Right.
She's
The way you're
doing this as a
answering it.
courtesy to you.
Right.
And you just like, I'm fighting for my life. 30 years of my career. Nigga, fuck your career.
Listen, he
12
had practice while he was in the closet. He
Hey
was
now.
practicing
Hey
Talk
now.
about
for
it.
this
2 claps.
very moment.
You know what I mean?
That's wait. We
Get
missed
a
that
strong
first.
That was
clap.
more
That's
aggressive.
that pregame shit. But like, yeah, Nick, but we're laughing at that because the internet. Listen, you gave us gems. This motherfucker involuntarily told us that he let one of the girls leave the warehouse in
you
Chicago
imagine?
to go to her uncle's house to get some shoes.
Can you imagine?
He involuntarily gave us that information. I mean, no, he voluntarily gave it. Voluntarily said, "Yo, why would I kidnap some girls and put them in the basement and then let them go down the street couple blocks to get some shoes?"
At 3:45
Yo,
p.m.
nigga,
You
what are
notice
you
he
talking
said,
about?
He said, let them.
Let them.
Right.
Let.
If they weren't, if they had any other choice, you wouldn't say let.
Listen, how you kidnap me
This
down the
nigga
street from
wild.
my own family's house?
Right.
Let me get to my family's house, and then my dumbass come back. Like that's manipulation
That's-
to a whole different.
Word.
level.
Let me tell you
Brainwashing.
something. Let me tell you
Y'all
something,
saw the
though.
doc. Was it part 3 or part 4 of the doc?
I ain't watching none of that. Either.
I watched the whole thing.
Bruh, he made a girl. He made a beautiful little. She was
They're
like
all
16,
beautiful. It's
17.
so
They're all gorgeous.
crazy.
They're all gorgeous. He made this girl who looked like a straight up. He turned her into like a butch lesbian. He made her dress like a boy.
Cut her hair off.
Cut her
Beautiful
hair
girl.
off. Made her wear fitteds, baggy jeans, baggy shirts, and made her hang around with the girl that was in the interview today, the Jocelyn Savage girl, and made her basically be like her bodyguard and walk around like she was her girlfriend.
Yeah.
So in the documentary, right, she's like, her parents are talking about it, and then her mom goes to wherever the fuck they're at. I think
It's like
they're
a
in
hotel
LA.
in LA.
Yeah, she goes to a hotel and she camps out for like 12 hours, and goes in, says her name. Oh, she's here. Blah blah blah. I'm her mom. I want to like. I need to know what room
But the thing
she's
is,
in.
her mom had to make up a story because it was like Mother's Day. She's like, I want to surprise her for Mother's Day or some
There you
shit.
go. There you go. So
Wow.
her mom made up a lie just to get the room number. The manager walked her up to the room. She opened the door. The girl opened the door. The girl that R. Kelly made dressed like a boy opened the door and was like, "Oh my God, Mom!" Like
Wow.
because she didn't have permission to call her mom. She didn't have permission to talk to her family. And then she was just like, "Babe, I came to get you." Da da da. She was like, "You can't right now. Come back in an hour."
So this is a thing. This is a
No,
that
this
happened to
motherfucker had them hypnotized. So her mom goes downstairs, waits in the van an hour. Hour passes. The fucking manager that just walked up to her daughter's room an hour earlier calls her on her phone and says, I actually have to ask you to leave our premises. I know you're outside in the car, whatever. Like, your daughter.
they call the police on her.
Your daughter just called and said that you're not her mom and you're trying to kidnap her.
Wow.
Like, wild shit. So, fuck. That
whole
acting
thing
shit
is
that he's
crazy.
doing, it's hilarious because it's like, my nigga, you did so much fucking malicious, violent, insidious, evil shit. And now, you over here fake with these fake tears? Oh, internet.
Let me
Get
tell you-
this nigga.
Let me tell you
Get
something.
this nigga. Sick the wolves on him.
We talked a little bit about my background in working with
And that's where I was going with this. I was going to
victims,
ask you, like,
right.
what would have been your approach with these young girls?
Right. Well, the thing is, you can't help somebody who doesn't know that they're in trouble.
danger. Yeah.
They don't.
need
They
help.
have to know that they're in danger. So they have to come to that conclusion on their own. And what most people make the mistake in is not understanding that, this hypnotism or brainwashing, as you speak of it, it's gradual.
Right.
It doesn't. He don't just come out and say, "Listen, bitch, wear this."
Right.
He comes out and he says, "Listen, you're beautiful. You're this. You're that. Can you do me a favor? Can you do your nails like this?
Yep.
I really like it when you do your nails like this." And then, time passes. He used what's called the Prince Charming approach to save them from their area. And it's sad, but Disney has done all women, especially black women, a disservice because
Facts.
we think that we have a knight in shining armor coming from somewhere to save us, who says all the right things. Because why? It's written in every romantic comedy.
Yep.
Yep.
It's written in every princess story. It's written in all of that. So we need to be saved. Fuck that. I built my own keep.
Talk that shit.
One.
Ow.
Two is we're not building that type of confidence into these young girls. So they think that this man loves them. They think that this man sees something in them that no one has ever seen. And people may have seen this in these persons, but in especially in the communities of color, we don't verbalize things like love. We're not quick to hug. We're not quick to do that.
Right.
So when somebody gives you something that you have never gotten, something that you see on
Changes
TV,
your world.
it changes
You go
everything.
right to it.
Yeah, man.
It changes everything,
And you yearn for it.
I have no sympathy for this motherfucker. I really
Right.
think that they should
Zero.
cover his body in paper cuts and get some salt and some lemon
Ouch.
and fuck his whole shit up because he knows exactly what he's doing.
Absolutely.
He
At this
is
point, for
attempting to manipulate the American viewers,
The way
and
he
the
manipulates the
worldwide
girls.
viewers, actually.
Yeah.
The way that he's doing this interview, he knows what the fuck he's doing.
Absolutely.
A couple times he lost.
Which
his
camera's
cool.
on me? Nigga, you
Listen.
know.
A couple times he lost his cool, but he got right back.
Yep.
Because he has the mind of a master manipulator, whether people realize it or not. There's a reason why he wrote the lyrics the way that he did. He told us exactly what he was doing in his lyrics. You telling me this fool don't know what he's doing?
With
Right.
Aaliyah
Just
on
because
her album.
just because he doesn't have a college degree doesn't mean this dude's not smart.
Facts.
Absolutely.
There's different levels of knowledge, there's different levels of wisdom, and this dude has it. This dude has a pimp mentality
Yeah.
from late
That's the thing.
60s,
That's what it
early
is.
70s.
That's what
and
it
he's
is.
like, listen, baby girl, I got something that you need. I know I got this. I know I can sing. He's using everything he has to his advantage.
Yeah.
I have no sympathy for him. I hope that he gets everything that's coming to him.
That's
He
facts.
in
prison.
jail again for child support.
Yeah,
Keep him
I
there.
saw. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing because he's from Chicago. So so like I said, I woke up and I was kind of like I got to work late yesterday watching this bullshit.
Look at you.
You know I'm always late to work, but I got there on time today. Nice to watch it.
Congrats,
So
my G.
thank you. That's how I knew it was gonna be a good day today. I said we're doing a podcast day. I got to work on time. I got shit done this morning. It's lit. But they asked him about the 2 girls at his house, and he's like, yeah, I'm in a relationship with them.
That's what they think.
And Gail said something to him, like, kind of, like, what do you mean? And he's like, I know people who have relationships with 5, 6 girls. In my head, I thought exactly what you just said. You know pimps.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're from child. You know
Yeah.
pimps. That's not a real thing. I know people who are in a relationship with 5, 6 girls. That's not a norm.
Big love.
And he's trying to make it sound like a norm.
Quakers.
Well, they interviewed the girls today.
They did. I saw that part
Yeah,
too.
you saw that part?
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you think about that?
And that's another thing. So did you see after because you know how they show the clips, and then they show Gail talking to the other people on the panel.
Yep.
And she was saying that they asked him to be outside of the room so they could talk to him, have an honest conversation.
All right.
And he wouldn't do it.
And he left the room, but he was like around the corner watching. So as the girls were talking, when they would say certain things, he would cough mad loud, like.
His presence is still there. He got stuff built in.
So he's right. If you're already like feeling some type of anxiety about this guy, and he's behind you going, "Excuse me," you know what I mean? You're gonna watch what you say. I felt bad for those girls. They were so defensive. They're talking about their parents, like, "Oh, they're just trying to get money."
They're lying.
The girls were saying that about their parents.
Yes, and the
And
girl,
they're women now.
they're women now.
The
Exactly.
dark skinned one that was sitting on the left when you watched the interview.
Jocelyn, I think that is.
Yeah, Jocelyn Savage, I believe. He took her when she was 16 years old. She
And-
been in his house. She been under his care for 5 years.
And that's the thing. Her parents are the ones who were on the documentary.
Yep.
And they're like trying to find her. They went to the place where she was at.
The
She wouldn't come
studio,
outside.
bro.
Well, can I say something? Every teenager, regardless of sex, sexual orientation, gender, whatever, these are the years where you're figuring things out.
Yeah.
Right.
So that is what makes you
Vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
to all
You're
of
super
this shit.
impressionable.
So what he does is he says, I could make you this. I could do this. You could be this. I see this in you.
Exactly.
Nobody else told you this. And
And he knows that no one else told
they
him
eat
that.
it up like government cheese back
And
in the 80s.
he's putting the blame on the parents because he's like, oh, well, why would you bring your kid to a 49-year-old man's concert?
This
But
guy knows what he's doing.
at the end
Oh,
of the
for
day,
sure.
Exactly, 'cause
He
he
said
writes something like-
the parents sold them
he
to me.
told them literally that the
So
parents
nigga,
sold
what
them.
does that make you? If you're gonna take some children that were sold to you, like what does that make you, dummy?
Because
The fuck are you talking?
honestly,
this nigga, Rob,
if you're
this nigga
16,
Sylvester's crazy.
if you're 16 and 17 and you go to a concert and your parents care enough about you
Stop.
Yeah.
to go to the concert with you,
Right.
then they're not just letting you out
Yeah,
into
you're
the
not- yeah,
world.
yeah.
Like they're still protecting you. Because I've been to many concerts. I've never been to a concert with my parents, and my parents are super protective, especially my mother. Very, very protective.
Oh,
They-
he didn't kidnap no African children. No way.
Let's
that
take
nigga would have been in my Jollof
Could you imagine
tomorrow.
tomorrow?
He would have been the beef.
Like, what kind of meat is
Sylvester
this?
Jollof. Absolutely.
What is
That
it?
nigga would have been oxtail in my
They were
Jollof
like,
tomorrow.
What is this goat? No,
Yeah.
this is single.
Oh,
It's
no.
Sylvester's.
Nah, they would have
This is
tenderized his
singer.
ass. It would have been what's it, oxtail or some shit. Like,
Right. They'd be
this
like,
nigga-
like his whole
it
thing
would have
was,
been tripe.
oh, my wife said my cow tongue.
other
No, it's
white
R.
meat.
Kelly tongue.
It's Katango. It's that Sylvester.
He's like, oh, I don't know how to hog tie people. That's your defense just because you don't know how to do it. Don't mean you didn't do it,
But
motherfucker.
Yes, but
But
with
see-
mental manipulation, you don't have
Right.
to hog tie people.
And that's why I hate the interview thing, because he'll say shit like that, and if I would watch it, I'd be like,
Wish I
"Come
knew
on,
that.
this is bullshit." I would just get mad.
So I told y'all I had a rant.
Oh, you ain't ranting yet.
Bad.
Shit, go ahead, my brother, sister.
It's not even.
Yeah.
My brother. I ain't got titties.
You my bro. You
Her
my
shoulders are broad, but goddamn.
Wow.
Then she got guns. Too.
I'm joking.
She got guns.
That was a
That's what
joke.
I'm saying. He comes,
That
he
was a
comes
joke.
locked
That
and
No,
was
but
a
Wole,
joke.
she got
locked
guns
and
though.
loaded.
She got
Hit him
guns.
back.
I
You
can
gotta hit him back.
Yo, my nigga, I
You
can
have
see
to hit him
like
back.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm wearing a whole long sleeve sweater. This man want to fight.
a whole turtleneck. You wearing a whole turtleneck.
A whole turtleneck.
You could definitely be like
can fight.
one of
I can't
DMX's
fight.
best
I ain't-
friends.
I ain't
in
never- I ain't
'99.
never been in a
DMX's
fight.
best friend.
Like you was definitely in one of the
DMX
Grand
doesn't
Champ
work. So
videos.
that's Darren's best friend.
That is Darren's best friend.
It was
He's
down the
my
street.
best friend then, because Grand Champ is one of the greatest albums ever made.
It is a good album.
I kind of
Absolutely.
like flushing my
Go on
face,
your
but,
rant, child.
But anywho, my question was when I first saw the first part yesterday. As a lot of people's questions. First of all, a lot of people's question was, "Nigga, what?" and "The fuck you mean?" Those are the first two questions, right? Third question is, who told him this is a good idea?
Right.
Now I have a theory, so I don't want to call it a rant. I call it a theory.
Yes, sir.
I have a theory that there's lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
you know, with OJ, there was lawyers who had to defend OJ. And back then, we was okay with them defending OJ, but we all know now OJ did that shit.
Word.
Well, we knew then OJ did it.
Right. We
Well,
were just,
some
we
of
were
us were
just
in
being
denial at the
blindly
time.
supportive. But
I
we-
was too young
blind
to
support.
know.
Well, whether you're in denial or not, we were both too young to know.
Oh,
But whether
yeah.
you're in denial or not, you
Once
knew
I
what
watched
you
the
did.
documentary, I
we
was
was
like,
like,
oh,
oh shit.
this nigga did that
He
shit.
did
that shit.
Yeah.
He did that shit.
We had an episode called "He Did That Shit."
Yeah.
We knew he did that shit. Right?
That was funny, Jeff.
Continue your
Good
point.
shit.
We really did that.
Good shit.
But in 2019, we're in a whole different space as a nation where we're not here defending people just because you're talented in some other type of way.
Right.
Right. So there's lawyers who have been hired to defend him, and they're like, "Fuck, we can't really go out here and do this. Let's tell him, go out there and do an interview."
Hang himself.
And now they're not on the hook if he goes to jail because it's like, "Fuck,
You did it to yourself.
Yeah.
you did it to yourself." I think that's what they did.
I agree with that, but I also think that they tried to coach him into maintain. They tried to Olivia Pope him, basically. They tried to coach him into maintaining his innocence to play
And his
towards
composure,
the,
too. But he fucked
Excuse
up.
me. Yeah, he fucked that all up.
Yeah.
They tried
Absolutely.
to play him, and they
no
tried to
idea.
I was
coach
a
him
victim.
into playing. You know, why would I release songs like "I Believe I Could Fly"? They probably told him to say that he donated to this and he donated to that, and he's always been about kids, and he's always been about this, and he's always been
We
about
know
that.
he's always been about kids.
But listen, they probably tried to spin the image, but he's one of those people who you can't control. You
Right.
can't give this man a script and tell him to read from it unless he wrote it.
He's almost like Trump.
I.e. trapped in a closet. You know what I'm saying? He'll follow his own script. But that was even on some wild shit if we think about it. It's just because he was singing it that we didn't really think about it.
'Cause
But there
honestly,
was-
the first
but
5
there
parts was cool.
There was midgets.
Then it
and-
got weird.
It got
and-
wild. Yeah, I
it
stopped
got
listening after
crazy.
6.
We got into Sly's mind, you know?
Sly's mind.
This nigga said, I'm fighting for my fucking life. When he said that and then had the little fake on cue dramatic, theater club tears, I was like, yo, this guy's good.
I can't wait till they.
I
put the whole
gotta
thing.
respect the fact that this nigga is a hustler. Like, he really
He's
is.
a real whole pimp.
Bro,
Like,
he's
he's
a
a
whole
real-
tire pimp.
I'm fighting for my
This
fucking
dude
life.
said this
I
dude,
can't have a relationship with my kids.
You think
Nigga,
these
you don't
people
even
talk
know
to
your
you?
kids' names.
no, they don't.
What are your kids? If I was gay, I would be like, name all of your children. Nigga.
That'd been a great question.
I would have said just like, nigga, name your kids.
Yeah. Gail
would've
looked
been
sexy
like,
as hell just sitting there like that.
You wouldn't have known what to say.
Listen,
Bitch-ass
we
nigga.
missed all the
Robert,
cues. Whether we wanted to
No.
or not,
Tanisha.
we missed all the cues. You
Absolutely.
know why? Because he said he put a mask on his face, wore
He
pimp
did.
suits,
Yeah.
and said, "I'm the Pied Piper Von Beyond,"
Yeah.
because he said "whoa" after
Yeah.
it. We was like,
He was
yeah,
boasting.
that's my joint.
Like
He was
we
boasting
even,
at a
we
point
even
in
got
time.
pimped.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We got
Yeah.
manipulated.
When you research with the Pied Piper, who that nigga was,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and folks knew, and even me, like
Yo.
in high school, TP2 time, I was like, yo,
I
this
love
dude needs
TP2.
help.
Yeah.
I was like, he needs help.
oh for sure.
I was thinking that.
But at the time,
Not
without
not
knowing all this
TP2.
shit,
Yeah.
because the tape was out at that point. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. The tape been
That
on.
was- that was
Yeah.
college.
Tape
Why-
got
I
released
got
in
questions for
what?
Usher.
Tape.
In 2000,
What?
90
Because
something.
they was messing with the same girl. How old was she?
Listen,
You're so stupid.
Ursha got nothing to do with
But you
that.
know
Don't
what-
bring
But you
Ursha.
know what's crazy,
Yo.
partner in crime?
What?
Do you know what's crazy, PIC?
What?
that Usher got herpes.
Yeah.
And allegedly, Sylvester gave herpes to a 13-year-old girl. Talk about it.
No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna put Usher.
Don't
We're
put
not
Usher.
gonna have
Don't
any
put our Haitian
allegations.
brother into this.
Wow.
No, we're
He's
not
Oh,
Haitian.
now it's our Haitian brother. Nigga, you
Yeah,
from
that's right.
Ghana. We ain't from the island.
But Darren's Haitian, so therefore Usher's our Haitian
Oh,
brother.
my nigga, no.
This nigga, he's like, it's all right.
I'm
It's all right.
sorry.
Everybody
I'm
in
sorry.
here took shots to the body. You
Yeah,
can take
it's all right.
something.
It's all right. I'm cool
Yeah,
with it.
it is not even
Yeah.
your shot, nigga. It's for Usher. Raymond.
Yeah, no, we're gonna keep.
You can't
pushing
trust a
that.
nigga with
Usher
two first
women.
names.
Way more.
Usher women.
Way more.
You can't trust a nigga with two first
Once I
names.
found out
My
he was
mama
Haitian,
told me
I
that
looked
when
at
I
his
was in
face.
first
You
grade.
saw it.
I
Didn't
was
you?
like, yeah, you can see the Haitian all in his face. Like once you hear it, you're like, you know what, he is
No,
Haitian.
we don't know.
We
And his-
won.
His
You look
last
at
name
the
is
picture.
Raymond.
It's women.
What is it?
She said
It's women.
women.
It's really
His
women.
middle name is Bennett or some shit. Like you can't trust. I don't know, but he's
Yeah,
got two
don't look
first
at me.
names.
I didn't name the
He's a
child.
His third name's definitely got to be.
He's a third.
He's a third. So what's his middle name?
I don't know.
I hate when I
Maybe
hear a
Terry.
person with a
Usher
terrible
Joseph
name and
Raymond.
then like
Usher
a second
Terry
or a
Raymond.
third.
Usher John Raymond.
Oh yeah,
It's
they just
some
carry a
bullshit.
legacy.
Yeah,
on.
it's like, Jesus
man.
Christ.
Man,
Wait,
but
who
fuck
brought up-
Sylvester Kelly.
No, fuck him. I mean, I guess Get Your Money, CBS, Gayle King, all that shit.
She looks so sexy sitting there poised like that.
Did y'all watch the Mike thing? Because I'm not gonna watch that.
I'm not
either.
watching.
Nah.
Man,
I'm
listen.
not putting.
No.
that on
That,
anything.
that's where I draw the line.
That's the
Yeah.
one thing that bruh.
Oh, he's
listen.
actually Usher Raymond the fourth. First of all,
Oh,
Oh,
that's
shit.
crazy. You
fourth,
got
my
that
bad.
many?
A long line of Raymonds.
That's
Usher.
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 His name is Usher.
Niggas
Usher,
got lazy.
women,
Like, let's just go with this
Default.
5-letter Usher thing.
they fought.
That's nuts.
They fought.
Are you Darren DJ DK the fourth?
The Fuff?
The fourth?
No, I'm the Fist.
Nah, he
first?
wasn't cool enough. His
my-
Claude didn't want to bless him with the
my
you know
dad
what I mean?
gave his name to my younger brother.
Okay.
Like just hopped over
just
me.
skipped over
Just
you?
hopped over
Let's
me.
talk
Shit, man.
before we get into the shit with the Finding Neverland or Leaving Neverland.
We're not even gonna get into that.
We're gonna skip Neverland.
No.
We
We're
gonna
going.
skip it.
We ain't
Cool.
rolling, yeah.
So what is it about fathers who skip their oldest, their
I
firstborn,
wish
to
I
give
knew.
their last?
Want to know what my theory is?
You never asked Darren?
Like why?
You know what my
Why
theory
would
is?
you skip your firstborn and name that nigga
So-
Terrence, and your name is Winston,
Not that
and
one.
then name the
No.
third nigga Winston?
Winston.
I'm
No.
not-
No. Actually, so in the case of my dad, I'm gonna put his business out there like that. So I actually
Can I
have.
say my theory before you say it?
Go ahead.
They might not be completely sure that's their kid.
Word. I was gonna go with that too, but I was also gonna go with
Wow.
they
Thanks,
might
Jen.
not decide that they want to, you know.
Thanks, Jen.
Let
Well,
me see what the first one looks like first,
Yeah.
and then we'll go with the
Wow.
second.
But you can say what you was gonna say.
Yeah,
now.
well, so in the case of my dad, he actually had a kid before me, and he named that kid Jerry Claude,
Oh.
and then that kid passed,
Ah.
and then I came after like a while with my mom, and then I don't know why CJ got the name.
I was gonna say then
Claude
it should just
Jerry.
be null and void. My brother
Yeah.
has the same situation, so he's not gonna name any of his kids a junior because
Yeah.
of that same situation. So that's not a reason, bro.
I'm
But
just saying
it
that
could-
this is
it
what
could be
this is what I
in
was told.
honor of the
Well,
one
I'm
that
okay not
passed.
being a Claude.
You would have been mad smooth.
That's not
though.
the question, though. It's not about whether you're okay.
I don't
with
want
it.
to be a Claude.
It's not about what you
I want to be
though.
Darwin.
It's why weren't you?
Darwin.
The win.
Darwin.
Darwin, no middle name.
No middle name
No
kid.
middle
You don't got a middle name?
No middle name. Everybody in the family got middle names except for me. Everyone.
He didn't think that was his
Did
kid,
they
my
want you?
nigga.
Did they want you?
Yo, you gotta ask some questions.
Yeah,
bro.
word.
Yo.
Get your Inspector Gadget on and start investigating. That shit's
Go
crazy.
get your name. Also,
You're dog.
That's fucked up.
That's fucked up,
Jen's
right?
a
It
big-
is.
yeah, Jen's
It
fucked
is.
up.
his middle name is Terry.
Who?
Not
Usher?
Terrence.
I told you, Terry.
Who?
Kelly.
He's got
Terry.
3 verses. I don't trust that nigga. Confessions
Not-
2 was my
Usher
shit.
Kelly.
Usher Terry
Like,
Raymond?
Not
That's
even-
mad first name.
Not even
8701
Terrence.
was my
It's
shit.
Terry.
That was dope too. But
That was him.
none of them's my shit no more. His fucking middle name's Terry.
First of all,
I don't rock with
I
that
can't
shit.
trust a nigga named Usher Terry.
you cannot talk about
Way
Confessions.
more than-
Confessions is a classic.
His
is.
acronym is too close to UTI. I can't
Oh
fuck with that.
Wow.
my God.
He UTI.
Wow.
Is that a Subaru?
Wow.
What kind of car is that? What are we talking about? Next
I
topic?
think it's a Hummer.
It's a Hummer.
Get it?
Yo,
It's something.
you're gross. She's gross. We know what time you want on.
Oh, fuck.
Well, he told us too. He
She's
said,
like-
"Let it burn."
Oh,
He told us
my
too.
God.
Curtsy.
I'm not putting Usher in this mix with that nasty man.
No.
Usher's in the clear. for
No,
that.
but
Sylvester's
I put
gross.
everybody who worked with R. Kelly, everybody who worked with him for a certain amount of time, you had to know something was going on.
No,
I know.
you didn't.
Whether you-
No, you
So
didn't.
Celine Dion
No, you
knew?
didn't.
I don't know Celine Dion.
Well,
like,
everybody, at least since the tape, knew. Everybody since the tape. And there's a lot of
And
people
so,
since the tape.
so going to that. So do we now go back and give Dame Dash a pass?
For
Because he said he stopped fucking with Jay because Jay was fucking with R.
is that the reason?
That's what he
That's
says.
what Dan
That's what
said.
he
but,
says.
no,
but
that's
then-
what sounds good to Dame.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
There
what
was
he
a
says.
lot of stuff.
Because Memphis Bleak came out the day after Dame said that fuck shit and was like, "Nigga, you knew.
Right.
Everybody knew.
Yeah.
But
Everybody knew,
but
and
he
you
knew.
rock with it. You knew.
He was
that-
on the remix of Fiesta. We all know.
Yeah, but Kels was the hottest R&B nigga at that time.
Yeah.
Right.
We were in what, middle high school? Y'all were probably in college. You know what I mean? Around that time. This is like 2002, 2003
Yep.
College,
when the Best
yeah.
of Both Worlds came out.
Yeah, try to go to the
So-
tour.
Exactly.
I remember
So-
that tour getting fucked up, and then Mary J had to take R. Kelly's spot.
Jay-Z and
Exactly,
friends, yeah.
because of all of the shit that was
Yeah,
going
but,
on.
but they was
like-
partners in crime for the fact that they were both facing cases.
Yeah.
True.
Jigga
Exactly.
Kelly not
Kelly-
guilty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Jay-Z's was more respectable as
Stabbing
you know.
somebody?
You know, he said
That's hood shit.
But then,
That's
but
on
then
brand.
afterwards, that's
That's
more
on
respectable
brand.
in the hood than saying I pissed on somebody's daughter.
Sure enough.
Yeah, that's why.
That's a fact.
That's why when you say it like that, all casually.
No,
why
but
you
it
rubbing
is.
your
Yeah,
eyes?
Well, I mean, because
It's wild.
well, because hey, what you in
That's
for?
what he did, though.
Stab somebody. What you in for?
All right.
Piss.
You better off saying I'm in for a traffic ticket. Like the
Word.
fuck, you're gonna get your ass beat if you're in jail.
You're gonna get your ass pounded. Fuck beat.
Oof.
They're gonna rape
No,
you.
they're gonna beat that ass
All
too.
of them.
They're gonna
Beat
rape
that ass
him.
up.
Because there's
Beat
somebody in that
ass up.
jail.
No Nick Cannon. Oh no.
Who
Wow.
wasn't out there to protect
Because it's
you.
like they got the segment on Wild 'N
Wow.
Out called "Eat That Ass Up."
And
So
there's
I
somebody
just
in
threw the
jail
B in
who's
there.
been molested. So he's gonna not have a good time in jail.
You think he's gonna off himself or he's gonna go to jail?
I don't think he's gonna let himself go to jail.
Yeah.
He gonna kill himself, bro.
I think that's why they keep putting him in jail
Who
before.
said that about Cosby? Cosby went.
Oh, well,
Cosby having a good time in jail. I don't know how.
Kicking it. Yeah,
No, he's not having a good time.
He said that.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Nigga, he was doing stand-up, acting like Cliff Huxtable.
I have to be
Well,
honest.
that's because he got dementia.
Can I keep your Jello pudding?
Yeah.
Tell me.
I have to be honest with you. He got some things he can pull up out of his sleeve, like the Cosby Kids and all of that shit. The voices, the Jello pudding, like
Right.
He got some
Yeah,
shit.
he's an
But they'll
asshole.
start. R. Kelly starts singing, and they start thinking about daughters that they got out there.
Right.
Like, we gonna fuck
That's
this
a little
up.
closer to home with kids. Anything
Yes.
with kids is like
Right,
Exactly.
because even the thing
Rapists are treated really
with
bad in
Bill
jail.
Cosby, they were adults.
right.
At the end of the day, it was fucked up what he did, but at the end of the day, they weren't
For sure.
somebody's like
Never gonna
underage
take that
children.
Right.
And
Whereas,
some of them niggas in there have drugged women.
yeah,
Like the niggas that
Let's
he
be
like,
real.
they've drugged women
they're like,
or
yeah.
raped them. Like, that's
Which is
just
crazy.
Wild. That's just wild. I don't even. Can we change the subject?
Yeah, I was gonna say we need a lighter topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's
Y'all need a
like-
soundboard so we
Can I
can play.
talk shit about women real quick? Since we got two women here.
Talk shit.
If you want kickback, go ahead.
Talk shit. No,
Let's
talk
go.
sit
shit.
the fuck back.
Let's
Put
go.
my
Talk
mic
shit.
up.
I'm sitting
Talk
up.
shit. I'm
You know what
with
I
you.
mean? Now I gotta get
I
comfortable.
have your back.
Wale, Bree.
Nobody wants you on that back.
I'm in his back.
Damn.
I just had to get ready. I'm sorry.
Y'all been to weddings before, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. A few, right? More than one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Jen, I know you have. Darren, I know you have. You had one.
See.
You had
See.
two.
That was unnecessary.
What's up tonight?
This
I can't help
this entire
it.
this
We
entire
done recording.
podcast is on.
If you don't take him outside in the snow and get that
we
nigga
might
the
have
fair
to
one,
fight, yo. We
I
might
can't
have
help
get that
it.
nigga the fair one.
That just means he has more data.
I
for what
cannot
I'm
trust a
about to say.
nigga whose button-up shirt is buttoned all the way to the top,
To the top.
button.
Protect your neck. That's all
No,
it is.
nigga, this ain't
Wu
Wu-Tang.
Tang fan.
This ain't Wu-Tang.
So,
Continue your point.
Yo, swing on this nigga. Wu-Tang.
So-
Straight up, man. Swing on this nigga.
an
man.
observation of mine that was confirmed through another podcast that I heard.
Yeah.
A shout out to Flagrant 2. Speeches. Best man, maid of honor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The maid of honor speech is always trash.
Yes, garbage.
Always trash.
Yes.
Maid of honor?
Always trash.
Always.
I've literally never heard a good. I've been to
Let
so
me
many
be the
weddings.
maid of honor at your wedding, my nigga.
But before you do that, before I give you that honor, do you agree?
Don't give her that.
Have you
honor,
heard any
please.
good maid of honor speeches?
I only been to like 2 weddings.
What?
You know my friends.
Were those speeches good?
Nah. You know what's worse? The parents.
Oh no, we don't care about that. Yeah, the parents.
The parents are gonna be back.
They're gonna want to talk all night.
But the bridesmaid,
Bree?
the maid of honor
Listen,
had time.
I haven't heard a maid of honor speak. Actually, you
Is
know
it because
what?
they're just
I did.
crying?
I did. Nope, I did, and she was pretty decent. But
Mike, put
Um,
your lips on it.
sorry.
It ain't your first time.
Whoa, hey
Pause.
now.
No pause.
he's getting sopped.
Everybody gonna be fighting in the snow after this.
I'm gonna be
Except for
tiptoeing to my
Jen.
car.
Except for Jen.
My 4 cylinders
Well,
on
friends.
the street.
She's gonna be pulling out like I don't want to be part of this. No, but the speech that I heard, they were drunk by the time they made the speech, and it was a dry wedding.
Oh boy.
But
Wow.
they definitely had a flask, so they were a little bit tipsy by the time they made the speech, and I think I'm going to blame it on the alcohol this time.
I don't know. Wale, what's your observation?
Bruh, you right. And it's something that I've never thought about till now, and I'm going to write a joke about it because,
God bless.
listen, outside of a platform like this where everyone is equally inebriated and, like, having a good time, and there's really, the tone is set to have tolerance
Right.
on a podcast. Whether a woman is a cast member or a woman is a guest. The tone is set for fuck shit.
Right.
We here to listen. We want to hear each other's opinions, combat if we need to, but then also validate. But women just suck at telling stories. They suck. There is
That's your boy. Don't look at me. That's your boy.
there is only
Let's go. Turn up.
Listen, one of my top 10 favorite authors of all time is a Nigerian woman, Chimamanda Adichie. Salute to her. She's amazing. She's a great writer. She's a great author. And she delivers fantastic speeches. But like for the most part, bro, I don't know if it's ego. I don't know if it's a certain level of smugness and like entitlement in the smugness. But like I've never heard it's real talk. Like I've never heard like a really captivating like, oh damn.
You know why he's dancing? Because he knows he started something. That's why he's
knows.
dancing.
I'm
like
hyped. I'm hyped. I'm so hyped.
Yo,
right now.
man,
No,
like
he's
yo,
something, yo.
women
Whose
are
man's is this?
women are
This is
not
your man's?
women are
Whose
not
man's is this?
He's my man.
you guys are not
Let him
captivating.
finish his point. Go
Women
ahead.
are-
Let him
women
learn.
women are not captivating speakers. I watch TED Talks all the time. Women that are black, white,
Bullshit.
brown, Puerto Rican, you're not captivating. I'm not saying you are. And listen, this is one of the things that we have to stop doing, especially when we're drinking. Don't take this as a personal attack. You're a great speaker.
Bro. You said women. You said women. You got 2 out of 5 people. That's 40% of the people in this room.
Listen.
And you gonna say women.
When's
Women,
the last
period.
time?
Wait, quick
when's the
maths,
last
quick
time-
maths.
Quick maths. That's what I do.
When is the last time you delivered a speech?
I
in front
tell
of a
great
group of
fucking
100
speeches.
When is the last
Yo,
time?
the
Can you
bass went up in
relax?
her voice a little
When
bit.
is the last
No, I
time?
can't relax.
That's fine. Don't relax. Unrelax.
I love this.
When is the last time you delivered a speech in front of a room of 100 people, and then after you got done giving that speech, everybody, 10, 15 people in there, yo, you did such a great job. It didn't happen.
I could tell you that.
What do you mean it didn't happen? You don't know my life?
I don't know.
It was within the last year.
Nigga.
Go ahead,
Let's
Bree,
be
tell
for
him.
real.
Turn up, Bree. Tell
Because
him.
we did that
Was it all
at
women?
the campaign event.
Was it all women?
Wow.
At the campaign
Were it
event.
niggas who said, yo, Briana,
You was in the crowd.
I was in the crowd?
You was in the crowd.
Are you talking about the campaign?
Yes.
Nigga, there was 50 people there.
Yo, there was.
And the people that gave you props were in high school. Get
Nigga with
fuck
the
outta
Mano
here.
bitch gonna try to tell me something.
I'm
Don't,
talking wild.
listen,
Hey,
don't be a
can
you
you
hater.
is talking wild.
bass in
Listen,
this too?
I'm not
Turn
being-
down the bass in
I'm
that
a
mic.
good speaker. And
I didn't say you were a bad speaker. I'm
What are you saying?
In my experience,
You're gonna have a terrible
I've
experience.
never fucking heard a captivating woman speaker get up and say some shit. Except, I don't know Michelle Obama. She's dope. She made me want to get up and fucking fix my credit.
Sure enough.
Neither one of you niggas ever did that.
first
The
of all,
fuck? If that's
let me,
what we talking
let me,
about,
how many?
you ain't never, Bree, I've known you for years. Just as Talks was 2011, my nigga. You ain't never said some shit that made me want to change my life. You ain't on Yala Van Zant. Neither is Jen. No, get away from the mic. Now you want to put your lips on the
Yo,
mic.
the-
Now you got that energy. No, fuck that.
The-
I haven't.
Yo,
To answer this nigga Bim's question, I have never heard a great maid of honor speech.
First
They've
of all-
all been trash.
first of all- first of all-
I forgot what
Me and
the
Becky
topic
used to
was.
go shopping.
No.
Me and Becky used to have the thing.
No,
Get the fuck
we
out of here.
not
I
doing
don't care
that.
about your shopping chronicles.
God.
We not
Tell me
doing
some
that.
shit.
We not doing that because
We not doing what?
you haven't said anything to captivate me neither. So while we're talking,
Fake
like,
news.
don't do
If
it.
I didn't say anything to captivate you, you would not be a
You-
co-host
all right,
on
if
the
I
podcast
didn't say
that I
anything to
started.
captivate you,
You wouldn't have asked
be a
her.
co-host.
Get it, girl.
But I also said, now you. So what are you talking about? What are we talking about?
No,
like
let's
slide
leave-
out
no,
the room.
but then
and
What are we
then
talking
keep
about?
going,
He
just-
He just came
He
Well,
came
try-
all the way
you
at
came
you,
for me.
girlfriend.
No.
And he
no.
said he
I
approached
actually
you.
validated
Nah.
you
Wait a minute.
by saying
You
Wait a minute.
validated me,
Not
and then you backhanded me with that same
Hold on.
validation.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, y'all.
Genevieve has something to say.
Let's do Jen, and then
Because-
we'll listen to Bree.
Because what had happened was in the beginning, if we would run back the receipts and the
In the
tapes,
beginning,
he
niggas.
said he had multiple people come in sitting on his little podcast, and they wasn't doing shit. And then Bree came, and she was the one, right, girlfriend?
I never said that. But
I said run back. to take the
revisionist
receipts.
history.
Listeners,
After
go back
an
and
hour a
listen
half.
and see if that went
Ladies
down.
and gentlemen, listen
Listen,
to the podcast.
I said,
Y'all can reverse back 30 minutes.
I said the codes I had previously were just inconsistent.
But Bree is good.
She said she
Right.
was good
Bree's
and she was consistent.
Bree's been great.
Yes.
All
Bree's
right.
been great.
So she's captivating.
No, nigga.
So-
What the fuck?
Who wants
You
a-
see how niggas like to move? So she's captivated.
Who
Those
wants a
niggas
host
were
on that podcast who's not captivating?
Oh, fucking.
Listen.
Who? Answer me
Before
that question.
you opened your
Like you
mouth,
did to Breeder
these
earlier.
niggas, because you didn't seem captivating at all.
Because I told you what I do,
fuck.
though. I told you what it is. So what I'm asking you is what you know.
Did
Put
you
your
tell
hand
me what
down.
it is?
You're right. You're
Put
right,
your
Jen.
hand down.
You're right.
Did you tell
Put
me
your
what
hand
it is,
down.
or did you make an excuse for your?
I ain't make no excuse for shit. What I
You didn't
said
make
to
no
you
excuse?
was, what I said to you was, you said
Uh-huh.
you had different people step in.
Yeah.
And then Bree was consistent and captivating. And she was the one you had a conversation
Yep.
at your thing you went to,
Yep.
Make sure
and
put
you
a
knew
journal
off
meter
jump
on the side.
that this was the one.
Yeah.
Right, Bree? That's what you said, right? We were both there.
Yeah, I love this.
We were both here.
We were both here.
We bonded right now.
Because right now I'm captivating motherfuckers.
Turn up.
Yeah, I mean,
Turn up.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, though.
People listening.
I want Darren to answer the question.
I don't want Darren to answer shit. Darren been quiet this whole time. Don't
Hey, yo,
break his
Darren.
news now.
No,
This nigga been high on cough meds. What's up, nigga? What's good, Darren? Talk to him.
Yo.
This
Yo.
nigga look pale as
You
hell,
know-
bro. Let me get you some
Yo.
cocoa
He
butter,
just
my
asked
nigga.
you.
Your
Yeah.
boy, yeah.
You know-
Hey, I hate being
You know,
sick. I feel you know.
it was funny. It was a
Tussin'
couple
Darren.
weeks ago. I had said to myself, "Man, we all think alike, so there's really no controversy on our show." And
Ain't it about thinking like
Blew
he's
that
wrong.
shit right out of the water.
yeah,
Wait, what's he wrong about?
Women can't be captivated?
I never
What did you
said
say?
that.
What did you
I
say
said
then?
I have not seen a woman in person who captivated me with the
How many
fucking
women in
speech.
person have you seen?
A lot. I've been to. You know how many boring ass graduations and fucking banquet dinners and shit I've been to.
All graduation speeches are
I
boring.
feel like we
Nigga,
have
don't
to
put
cut
that
a lot
on
of
What are
women.
you talking about?
Don't put that
Some
on
of the
women.
best.
Like the
Yo,
5 minutes
some of the
later,
best
like-
speeches in the world that's ever been fucking orated in history have been graduation speeches.
And some of the worst ones.
Okay.
If you ain't buddy seeing,
So
I don't want to hear it.
So it's 50-50.
Aye.
It's 50-50.
Aye.
And guess what?
Wait,
Out of
wait.
that 50 that were good,
Wait.
none of them were women except for Michelle Obama.
So that's not none.
I'll wait.
Nigga, that's one. That's not none.
Hey.
That's
None.
not maths.
Hey.
Hold on.
None.
That's
Hold
maths.
on. But
That's maths.
Time.
Darren
But-
got something. Darren
No,
got
I
something.
have nothing good to
Say
contribute to
something.
this.
he said I have nothing good.
In my, I've seen a bunch of these maid of honor speeches, and usually they are garbage.
Well, no. I'm okay with you
Terrible.
saying maid
That's
of
why she wants to do his.
No.
Because she knows
I'm
that them
okay.
shits are trash.
I'm okay with
That's
you
what's
saying
crazy.
maid of honor.
Women know
speeches.
how to move that goal.
Nah,
That's
listen.
just crazy.
I'm okay with you
I'm
saying
shut
maid
up.
of honor speeches are trash because they're emotional. They're
You
drunk.
already know what
I'm
Let's
cool
finish.
with that.
Let her finish.
I'm
I'ma
cool
get
with
her.
that
I'ma
because they
get
be
both
saying
of
what you say. Let me land, motherfuckers.
Let
right?
let Jen land. Yes.
I mean, I'm cool with you saying maid of honor speeches are trash.
Right.
Best man speeches are trash. But don't be like women ain't captivating.
I said some.
Nigga, you said all.
I want Bree to
No, I
go.
didn't.
I want Bree to
I
go,
might
and
have
then
said-
I'm gonna go back to Jen's point.
Nah,
Bree,
I'm done.
please.
Go ahead, Bree. Get your
Drinking.
shit off.
I get the maid of honor speeches. I've already given you somewhat of an explanation for that.
Thank you.
Because we're so happy
Liquor.
for our friends that
Weak.
we
You
get
guys-
drunk.
That don't mean
You
I
too.
I was drunk at Darren's wedding.
Wait. No.
I was drunk. I gave
No,
one
stop.
best man speech.
Stop.
My
Nope.
shit was
Wait.
alright.
Nope. In
Y'all
your
niggas-
mind,
Whoa.
I don't
No.
know about the people who was listening.
When the random Nigerian parents of motherfuckers I don't know say, "Oh,
because-
you did such a good job."
No,
Oh,
they did
no.
that because they knew you were Nigerian.
Now
and
Nigerians
can't
they don't give
possibly-
you kudos unless
Yeah.
they
They
mean
don't.
it.
Yeah, sure.
They don't love us.
They don't. We ain't Cape Verdeans. We don't give it up for no reason, nigga.
Whoa.
I meant in the compliment form, not in that form.
What's
This is
What's
You're
crazy?
wildin'.
What's
You're wildin'
crazy is
right
as
Yeah,
I walk
we
I walk into a room.
Sriracha.
What's crazy is I walk into a room of Nigerians and I get nothing but respect.
Show
I
enough.
don't know if you could say the same about a room of Cape Verde.
Oh boy.
One,
Whoa.
two.
Whoa.
Let's not talk.
I love this.
Two. Let's not
ahead,
talk
get your
about
shit off.
all women not being captivating
Thank
because
you.
there are
I
not.
said women. I didn't say all.
You said all, nigga.
I said women.
All.
This is where we
We gonna watch the playback. I said
all right,
women.
This is where it's like say what you mean and mean what you
you
say.
say.
Show enough.
This is
Get the
where
fuck-
it is.
Man, women always do that semantic shit. I said women.
Nah, fuck that.
But you
No,
didn't say some
there is
women.
no fuck that.
You said
if you including yourself in that, that's on both of y'all.
You said
I didn't
women.
say all women can't give speeches. Did I get up here on some goofy ass Gumby shit
Yes.
and
No,
say
you
that?
did.
No, I didn't. No, I
Yes.
didn't. I said women, and I also said the word some. Some
didn't
women.
say no.
He
Some.
said, and even if he didn't say it, he agreed with you when you said all women can't give speeches.
Bridesmaids specifically.
Bridesmaids
for
can't
me.
give
Bridesmaids,
speeches.
and
then
I
you
agree
got
with
up here,
that. And then I said all women that I've seen give a speech in person have not been good.
Except-
that I've seen in person. That means there's a lot of women I've never seen in person.
When I brought that
give a
up, you was
speech.
like, no.
Now.
No, you didn't bring shit up. You was, oh yeah, you said some wild
You
shit.
want popcorn? What you say?
I didn't get to finish my point.
Yeah, can Bree finish her point?
I
Bree
didn't
gonna
get to
finish her
finish
point, please.
Man. I'm peeing while you say that. I ain't even gonna be here for you to. Now where's your muse at? Fuck out of here.
I got you, beloved. I got you.
Bye,
I got you.
nigga.
Darren ain't gonna say shit.
Bye.
Nope.
Clearly, the
Nope.
comedian,
Bye.
the comedian formerly known as Wole, who has now disappeared.
Bree, please.
Oh, okay,
Go
okay.
that
Spice.
way.
All right.
Bree,
Go ahead,
please. Your
girlfriend.
point, please.
But
He about to
this
get
is
fought.
this is where we get into arguments because
Yes.
you need to say what you mean and mean what you say.
I agree.
Be careful when you say that women have not been captivating. Women
Right.
have not been able to speak in order to captivate people.
Right.
Because I firmly agree. I firmly believe
it.
that if he didn't believe that I was captivating,
Right.
he wouldn't have me as a co-host.
For sure.
Facts.
For sure.
Regardless of how consistent I could be or whatever, I wouldn't get the text, I wouldn't get the calls, I wouldn't get none
Come
of
on
that.
now.
So that's straight up bullshit.
Right. Right.
And my personality speaks for itself.
Talk
So
your shit,
I'm not about
girlfriend.
to sit here and say that all women are captivating, but I also won't sit here and say that all men are captivating.
No, for
because
sure not.
I've had lullabies
Yeah.
by men who decided they wanted to get up and say something.
Yeah.
Because now I'm napping. So let's be real. There's bad speakers of every sex.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's
but,
what I wanted to say.
To bring it back home. But in the case of brides, maid of honors.
Yeah.
Once again, that's a very specific situation. Once again, maids of honors are very into the moment. You got so much emotion involved. Same thing with best man.
So here's one
they get
thing.
on they get on the mic and they start rambling and oh my god, I love you so much. You've been drinking in the potty bus, getting there.
I've heard bad best men speeches, right?
It's both ways.
But the problem that I've seen with maid of honor speeches specifically, at least the ones that I've seen, they try to write something down. It's not going to work if you're reading something in the moment. And then if you get emotional, it just doesn't sound
Right.
good.
And
then
that's
when you
very
wrote
specific.
it was cohesive, but whatever story you're trying to tell, nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
That's a whole separate situation.
Right.
though.
So
You have to be a very good storyteller in order to
Exactly.
get everybody in the room to feel like they were there for the story.
Exactly.
And therefore buy it.
Now with that
And
said,
very few people, male or female, are able to do
but
it.
I can do
exactly. With that said,
it. I could do it.
to switch over, and I'll do this while Wole isn't here. Darren,
He
you're
let your dog
married.
down.
Yeah.
I'm in a relationship. Now,
Hi, Chestnut.
there are times when I'm listening to, the day of my lady, and I'm like, oh, shit, just wrap this thing.
I've had that just happen to me in the car just now.
Did that just happen to you?
Trying to explain something, but it's not the point. We're not talking about personal conversations. He's talking about standing in front of a crowd.
Oh, you still hype off of Wole?
Yes. Fuck him. I don't give a shit that he walked out the room when shit got hot. You think I care that he?
Yeah,
left
no, he
when
can't
shit
do
got-
that. He got to defend his. He
Shit got
got
hot. I
to
was like, I
defend.
gotta pee. Nah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he got to defend his shit.
What he said was, can you stand in front of 100 people and have people come and
Yo, Jen
We're
is
back to
mad
this, yo.
triggered, yo.
We're back to-
I'm triggered as fuck. And he's back.
I'm back.
Bye.
So I'll say, I've seen captivating women. It's not a blanket statement, and I'll speak for Wole. I don't think he may have said it, he may have misspoke and made a blanket statement, but of course he doesn't believe that
In
all
real life,
women.
I haven't seen it.
He's just personally
On
in
YouTube, I've
person
seen
hasn't
captivating women.
Right.
That's why I said
Yo,
Michelle Obama.
Bree and Jen are not buying it.
Yo,
They ain't with it.
Jen,
They
I know,
just look.
Jen hasn't blinked in the past 2 minutes, yo. She has not
Her
blinked.
pupils are hella
Yo,
dry. Came back with the jokes.
Glad I don't have my contacts on.
I feel like
the fuck out.
I'm gonna get yelled at the end of the night.
Stigmatism
You
and
ain't
all.
getting
I'm
yelled
definitely
at,
gonna-
bro.
I'm definitely
You
gonna get
good, man.
You
grown
invited
ass
this guy on the show.
Don't
Like,
speak for him. He was definitely getting yelled at. Who the fuck is your little friend that you brought? Oh, you thought I wasn't gonna say nothing? Who the fuck is your little friend? I mean,
That's cool.
we're gonna come to your show on Sunday and heckle you.
Oh
You'll
my
get kicked
God.
out, and I won't even be the one to do it. That's the first rule. Please don't say anything to the comments.
Because
Wait,
know-
they're not allowed to heckle
Because
on
the
Sunday?
comedians are
no,
sensitive.
we saw that.
Time out. So,
I'm not sensitive. I'll make fun of your braids right on stage and get
make fun
everyone
of my
on my
braids.
side.
so Darren.
Huh?
Huh?
What'd you say?
What?
Wait, hold on.
What I
So,
do with it?
I'll scrap at you in the snow. I ain't no problem with that.
so Darren, do you still have,
Yes.
Get your friend.
do you still have dreams of doing stand up?
No.
No. What happened?
This
That was a
podcast is
hell
what
no.
happened. You guys have made me realize what terrible English I speak. So, and plus, I don't. It died before that. I don't feel like I'm witty enough all the time to get on stage. And
Whatever
But that's
the
your
hell-
content. It's whatever you put
Lick it
together.
off.
yeah, I still don't.
I mean, I was about to say if you can get on Sunday.
If I get heckled, I'm gonna like crumble. I'm gonna crumble right there in front of the stage and say,
you wouldn't. If
wouldn't.
you're crumbled by a stranger, maybe. But if you're heckled by somebody that you know,
yeah.
it's easy to get them.
It could turn into an alley-oop, you know?
Yeah, but I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
I don't recommend that. But yeah, that can happen.
But
I
let
wouldn't
me
have- I can't talk
let me
loud
just
enough.
close it with this. If you
Yes.
didn't mean all women, you need to watch what you say.
Word.
And
Nigga,
say
no,
how you mean
don't
it.
tell me what to do. You ain't my mama. What the
I-
fuck are y'all talking about?
Listen.
I said what I
Listen.
said.
I tried to come at it
Personally,
from a
in
nice,
real life,
respectful
I've
way.
never seen it.
Yo,
I've heard a lot of
Did you
women
hear?
speak.
Did you hear my
Hey,
tone?
guys.
You really tried.
Hey guys.
You went
see
there.
that?
I
Hey
saw
guys.
My
And
tone
then
is
it's
where
just
it's
like,
I
at.
have
oh,
a-
shoot,
Hey guys.
Listen,
I have
me.
a
If I told you to
question.
do something,
I have a
you would
question.
have the same tone that I have. Go
I
ahead,
have,
Darren.
I have a good question. We're gonna just change.
Yeah, let's
We're
do
gonna
that.
we're gonna
That's more of a
we're
statement.
gonna try to.
That's
you
more
know,
of a
Can I
statement.
apologize for taking us down that road first?
Listen, this is
I
why you
wanted
can't
spice.
trust certain Nigerians.
the
You
whole
cannot
top came off
trust.
and just,
You cannot trust niggas who wear hats like a golf, and we know that nigga ain't never spent a near second on the green.
I did a 9-hole. I got a
Hey.
eagle on
I got a
a
1-hole.
par.
Sometimes a 2-hole.
All right, Darren, go ahead, man. I'm done
Never
with
a
that.
3-hole. No 3 holes.
So the other day, I believe was Ash Wednesday. And we put
Yo,
something
you
up.
know who Ben reminds me of?
Here we go.
You watch Ellen's show?
Don't do
the
that.
DJ.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yo, this nigga Nigerian.
You know he's
Twitch.
Nigerian? You know he's
He is?
Nigerian?
Is he?
Wait, Twitch is on there now?
Twitch.
Yeah.
Whoever her DJ was before was Nigerian.
Nah, it was Twitch.
It was always the same dude?
Forever.
No, there was another guy.
He's not,
There was
it was
another
another
guy.
guy.
There was another guy.
Yeah, he was Nigerian the other
Well,
day.
you a dark skinned Nigerian Twitch, my brother.
I'll take it. I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
He fly?
So I don't-
He Ellen little slave. So there's that. There's that. No beef though. No beef.
Come on, dap it up.
Agree to disagree.
Dap it up.
All right.
Dap it up. Hey.
I don't want to disagree about shit. Women are captivating, motherfucker.
Could we hug it out? Pregame shit.
There you go.
Hey, you got hair on your forehead.
Look at that. Look at the love, huh?
Man,
We can have
this
conversation.
shit is only for TV, goddammit. Love and hip hop.
And that's how
I
we're
love
gonna
Jen.
back to you.
You know what I mean?
So
Marriage
yeah,
Boot Camp be pulling on the heartstrings. If anybody hasn't caught up on Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition, that shit's tough.
I don't be watching. Come on, Jen.
I know, but
Soulja
that's
Boy
a good
needs to
one.
stop putting his fucking hands on
On
Teddy
Nia.
Riley's
Yeah,
daughter.
I mean,
I know that much.
For Teddy Riley come out here and do that
Nia
shit.
will cut that nigga.
All three of y'all watching stuff?
Nia's
No,
thick
no.
as
I
fuck
heard
now.
about it. Listen,
Nia's
I
heavy
think
now.
you
She
have
will
a
fuck him up.
responsibility as a podcast journalist
To be
to
involved in
pay.
this
You
shit.
just
Be
have to know.
informed, yeah.
You don't have to talk about it. Just know. Allegedly, Soulja Boy has been domestically abusing his girlfriend Nia Riley. Who
I
is
haven't watched
daughter-
the
Teddy
one
Riley.
of the
episode yet.
daughters of Teddy. Because Teddy Riley got mad daughters. That nigga was out here fucking.
Yeah, what?
Like
all
for
that
real.
means- I think
Like
that's
he
what-
got shit. He might have one of my Nigerian uncles beat for
No
the
diggity,
number
no
of kids.
doubt.
That nigga got about 12
who'd you
kids.
say?
I said no diggity, no doubt.
Oh, okay.
9 of them daughters,
Really?
and they're all in their 20s, 30s.
No diggity.
Teddy Riley was fucking raw. No condom, nigga don't know how to swim. Never jumped in a pool or ocean without a floaty. Like Teddy
Wow.
Riley was out here, but Soulja Boy needs to fucking chill out. I understand you big Draco now, but like nigga, stop putting your hands on your fiance.
Yeah,
nigga.
word.
She's got like 60 good pounds on him.
And if she wanted to, she
She could fuck
fucking
him up.
destroy
That's
him.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
She might as well just bust Big Draco in the head. And
What
then
was the
learn his
fight that they
lesson.
got into the
See,
other?
that's what I'm saying. I didn't watch that last episode. I'm holding off because
Ah.
I don't want to jump ahead of the person I watched it with. So I gotta hold off.
Yeah. I love how she said that.
Quick.
Yo, I love yo
because
because y'all are so
New Gen.
fucking sneaky. Like her nigga. That's right. That's
No,
what I
there's
heard.
a difference between being sneaky and being discreet.
Bree, come a little closer to
That's
the
my
mic.
girlfriend.
There's a difference between being sneaky
fuck
and
with
being
her.
discreet.
Thank
You
you.
have to know when.
It's always
and where.
semantics with these women, man.
I
There's
feel like when it's a
semantics.
guy,
That's your
is
favorite
we're
word.
being
The word
sneaky.
of the day, ladies and gentlemen,
It's
is
semantics. Because women are really good at semantics. She said, you hear what she said? It's not her
These
nigga.
two are having a
it's
bonding
the
moment
man
over there.
that they're dealing with. Like, get the fuck out of here.
We're gonna
It's
get
a
to-
dude that's, you know what I mean?
We're going to get to Darren's question. But Bree, are you in a relationship?
No.
No?
She got niggas. About
Oh
6 or
my
7
God.
side niggas.
God, listen.
6 or 7.
Here's the issue.
Couple
This-
light skinned niggas, couple Indian niggas.
We gonna talk about his perception. That's his perception.
Right,
He
right.
don't know what goes down.
Okay, tell the people.
All he has is what he thinks.
Can you pass me that?
Or
That,
what he
that, that
what
good
he, what he
tequila?
thinks he sees.
Right.
What I
right
think,
now-
you tell me.
Yo.
I guess I was in the,
Yo,
when we have those conversations. I guess I'm just Neo in the Matrix, nigga.
Listen,
Yo.
I
I
guess I'm
don't know
plugged
why
in.
he's acting up when we're at company's house, but I need him to stop.
You know what? I'll stop. I'll stop. You're right, because I'm out of pocket.
There was
I'm not,
a
but-
couple months ago where I decided that I was gonna take a step
Yo, I don't
back.
know what's
Right,
happening.
right.
And
This is
I,
great.
I figured I was wasting my time with dudes that I didn't see a future with, just so that I had someone to say that I was
Hanging out
with
with.
them.
Showing up.
And that's a waste of my time and my energy. My time and my energy is valuable. So anybody who I felt like it couldn't work with, or anybody who was doing something that I addressed
Right.
and they
Your
couldn't
uncle.
fix it, I was like, all right, I'm all set. I'm straight. I'm good. And I know I could have dudes on demand,
Talk that shit.
and that's not me being cocky or
little bit.
anything like
A
that.
little bit cocky.
Well,
a little bit.
I
See how they do?
It is what it is.
I know I
also-
can get dick whenever I want, not
also-
being cocky at all.
No,
Like,
also
what
I
the
don't
fuck
give
you
a fuck.
talking about?
But listen, it's about choice.
Yeah, word.
And if
That's what it's about.
Yo.
So,
No, my bad.
Kick him
Yo,
out.
let me
First
shut
of all, he's
look,
in,
he's gonna turn
he's
the
in
whole way
timeout.
around.
He's legit
He
in
really,
timeout.
he really turned all the way
He's in
around.
timeout. But
sorry.
no, I'm looking for something that I can build with,
Right, right. For sure.
and I make that clear from gate, and I know with certain dudes and how they interact, what they're looking for and what they're not looking for.
Yeah.
And I have to be honest with myself about that and not set myself up for heartbreak, because then I can't blame the dude if I make my intentions clear.
Right. It's facts. That's facts.
So that's where I'm at.
A woman that knows what she wants.
In my maturity. But I know that if I wanted to revert back to, entertaining, bullshit, if I wanted to give it my energy, I could. But I'm at a point where I can put my energy elsewhere.
God bless, like them children. Yeah.
You know what's funny?
I like
We
it.
just looked up the word gaslighting because I kept seeing it on the internet and people was using it like, oh, he's just
They do
gaslighting.
it, yes.
And we were like, yo, what does that mean? Like, for real, for real. And it was just like somebody who manipulates you to make you feel like you're crazy. And I
Yes.
said, oh, that's a thing.
Where'd that come from?
It's like me smacking Wole
Yeah.
and saying, listen, look what you did.
Look what you did. If you wasn't talking
That's what
crazy,
our parents did.
if you wasn't,
Look what you made me do.
yes.
So you're Sylvester.
Wow. Oh, Darren, your question.
Both of y'all know.
I don't even know everything
Ask
is
the question.
relevant.
Relevated.
at this time.
Relevant. This nigga's sick.
Zero
That flu medicine
That's,
must
that's
have
just normal talk.
Okay, that's regular. He said, I don't even think it's relevated.
So, we asked the question. I don't know if you guys celebrated, but what y'all giving up for Lent?
Oh yeah, I don't do that.
If you had to, if you said, this year I'm gonna give up.
So
for
the
40
purpose
days.
of giving something as something like
grow-
difficult, right?
Yes,
Like
to
something like
grow-
it's a sacrifice, right?
Yes, because Jesus was in the wood for 40 days and 40 nights, and he da-da-da-da-da. So I'm going to try not to sound condescending, but Catholics
Ooh,
said, hey, let's do this too.
And
So- Christians. So they opt to give up something for 40 days to fast or what have you. And I saw the question we put up, and it made me think of Uncle K. Shout out to Uncle K, who for a time during that stretch would give up.
He does every
He
year.
gave up
He still
chicken
does.
one
This
year. He gave
He
up
gave up alcohol 1 year. That was
alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always heard that, and I'm like, yo,
Your dog pissed
I don't
on the
even,
floor?
huh? What?
Yeah, he good.
So I would hear him do that, and I go like, I don't know what I could give up for 40 days.
I give up this fucking podcast.
No, you wouldn't. Stop it.
Yeah, contractually obligated to be
You're
here.
yes.
I ain't saying shit.
You were asleep. Sorry.
That's what they
Little
say.
Cosby.
Sorry.
Then that first then they had that first post episode without them.
Cosby.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I would never do that. To
It's all
anybody.
fun and games until you hear that first episode without you, and then you start
First of
creeping
all,
down fucking, what is it, Tyrant Road?
Tyrant
Looking at
Road.
the crib, whatever the fuck this road is called.
Tyrant.
Looking at who's
Oh,
in the
damn, you got me
driveway.
I gotta blur that out now because
Oh, my bad. I don't want to know.
You know what's funny? You didn't even say it right, so it don't matter.
I said it correct.
No, he didn't.
I didn't.
Oh fuck.
Damn, Darren, I'm trying to help you
Just
out.
got
The only
Oh,
thing that I
you're
would
right.
try to give up for Lent, though, to
Also,
answer your
oh,
question, Darren.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Pause.
Go
I
ahead.
need to. Special message. Want to send a special message out. I did not mean to call my wife fat last week. I meant
No, you didn't.
I meant she's a fat ass. Like we like to
PHAT?
eat. Like no. Well, she
Oh,
doesn't.
for greedy. She
Yes,
greedy.
we like to eat. We
You
call
always
each other
say
fat
greedy.
asses.
Just say greedy.
Yeah, you guys cover your face if you want. So listen,
This
we were
nigga
talk-
Bim is dying.
yo. So we were talking about going on a
He's
date.
laughing at it.
And I was saying how we're fat asses, and I meant in a sense of we like to eat, like we love eating. Yes,
Ain't nothing wrong
so
with food. That's how we all live.
Exactly. So
This
I
nigga Bim is-
accidentally, in my drunkenness,
He
said,
got the cigar laugh going.
said-
Now you gonna blame the liquor?
"Yeah,
I ain't Jamie Foxx.
I was, but
Yo,
Did you see the slide though?
hey, get Jen
Yeah.
out of here, man. Get the whole
You love
PDT. Get the
So,
whole PDT podcast.
for those people who think I'm an asshole, I did not mean it in that sense. I would like to address the American people.
Clabell, he does not.
I don't. Yeah, and
This
I
day.
told her right away, and she laughed, and she got
Yeah, she
made
knows what
me
time
pay
it is.
for it. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
made like
I just
17
meant
kids.
that we
She
like to
can't.
eat. So wait, what do we? Sorry. I know. I'm sorry, Bill.
First of all,
I had to say
you're
that.
gonna make him hyperventilate.
I know. No. Last week, I had to crawl over to the couch for what this guy did to me. Pause. If that's needed.
Who did to you?
Him. You both of you. Both of you.
No, we saved you. But we won't even go
You
there.
saved
we
me.
won't even go there.
You saved me.
We won't even go there.
Saved?
Not on the mic. But you welcome.
Thank you, Jen. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yo,
but thank
Jen
you.
is
So
like the ultimate Vanessa culprit type.
she is.
You know what I
She
mean?
finesses quite well.
Hell yeah, she's like a DC
She
villain.
does. Oh wow.
Like an animated DC villain.
He called Jen a DC
You know what I mean?
villain.
Like she like
My
Red
stomach
X.
hurts.
She Red X. She's fucking
She
Killer
help you,
Croc.
but at the same time she'll fuck you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like fucking.
Thank you for
Killer
saving my
Croc
life,
ass
but you
nigga.
stole all the money still.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ,
God.
man.
Thank you for leaving me tied
Black
up.
Skull.
Yeah.
I'm so leave
So
it
what
at
y'all
that.
doing it for that? If you had to do something,
Pork. I would
I
try.
told you this podcast,
you would give it. Okay, so Jen, this podcast.
I would try pork.
Because Jen does love this podcast, so it would be
and
tough.
I am the only one who hasn't missed an episode.
That is true.
Yes.
God bless.
So pork. Do you think that would be difficult for you?
It would be, bacon is fucking fire,
Bacon is
bro.
delicious.
Yo, it is.
Ribs, like, oh man, it would be hard. 40 days, no ribs, no bacon,
No ham.
no ham.
That's the hard part for me is ham.
yeah.
Bree, what about you?
I've already kind of given up pork, and I'm okay with it. So
So
it'd
I'm looking for the
probably be-
difficult thing.
It would probably be fast food because of how convenient it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
So
there.
I would have to meal prep.
Yeah.
Them?
Not me.
Oh boy.
Ivy caps.
I die out there. I need something to cover my face.
I am nothing without my cap.
I'm nothing. No, I'd probably say sweets, cookies, or some type of sweets.
See, I wasn't
Fuck
even
up a
thinking
cookie
about
right now.
Yeah, like it's
I'm
yeah, it's
not
pretty
giving
bad.
up
Like after a meal, I have a craving for something sweet always. So 40 day, I could do it for like a week maybe, but I'd start shaking or some shit
Really?
after that. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I'm not giving up my cookies for nobody. No ice cream, no fucking chocolate cream pie. Fuck all y'all.
Yeah,
I'm
can't do
eating
it.
all that shit.
Can't do it.
Maybe liquor, but the first go-to is the pork.
Yeah. Dan, did you say what you would give up?
Cause I still got steak. Go ahead.
No, I give it my
Coconut
phone.
oil.
You say your phone?
Nigga, you crazy.
What
That's
you mean?
cray
Like,
cray.
I wouldn't-
like at all, no phone.
Yeah, no phone.
You just want to be away from your wife.
You're a fucking
That's
asshole
not
for
true.
even insinuating
Wow.
that.
Wow. No. It's just like, let me put this over here. I don't need this right now. No,
I mean,
wouldn't-
obviously can't be away from because you live with your wife.
Obviously, yeah.
Yo,
no, I
could you
would-
give up like chairs and be like, nah, I'm giving up chairs, and like anytime you have a meeting, you just stand.
There was this one.
I'd be like, yo, for that, I'm just giving up chairs.
There was a
bruh.
dude.
I'm giving up chairs.
there's-
I'm changing mine. I'm
There's-
changing mine.
There was a dude
I'm
I went to high school with. He said
giving up chairs.
like he wouldn't turn down a certain street. So if he had to go down this main street to get somewhere, he would go a whole different way because
That's what he
gave
gave
That's
up
a
for
whole
it.
face for that.
Yeah, it's weird as shit, but he would do
Yo,
it.
I'm giving up sitting on chairs, only on couches and love seats and shit.
Hey, can I have a seat?
Hey,
Nah,
I'm good.
I gave
I'm
up
a
that one.
stand, nigga.
In church,
I'm
the
good.
pastor's
I
just
gave it
looking
up
at
for
you.
Lent.
You're
Like,
about
that's the
to
Holy
offend the
Spirit.
hell out of people.
I can't sit
Every
in the
house you
pulpit,
go
pastor.
to, every house you go to, they're like,
standing.
you want to have a seat?
No, thank you.
I'm set.
Nah, I gave that up for
I gave
Lent.
up sitting for Lent. They'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't got roaches, I promise.
I know, because they think it's just you're making up an excuse. Yeah.
I definitely
I
spilled
definitely give
tequila
it
on myself for that.
Oh.
There you go.
There you go.
That's what you
God
get.
don't like ugly. That karma comes quick.
Oh my god, y'all are killing me today, man.
I have a question, sort of. Last week I told you guys went on a date with Clarabelle, date night. Woohoo!
Oh,
yeah,
how'd that go? Let
it was
people know.
good. Yeah, we went to Troop,
Oh yeah.
and it was a
on
very
a Thursday.
on a Friday. matter of fact.
Friday,
reggae
Friday
night.
Mm.
It wasn't.
no reggae.
Apparently, I missed reggae.
Yeah,
There's always some type of loud music.
But they
Troop is
had,
lit.
yeah, they had old school hip hop music. So I'm sitting there like,
A-Team.
hey, yeah.
That lad was
no,
there.
but you know, I
DJ
don't-
Crazy Beats and
I don't know
Lad.
that. No, there was no DJ. They just playing music off
Oh, okay.
whatever.
Off the boombox.
So, but I hadn't been there since it opened, so I got to see all the murals and stuff,
Yeah.
and it looked dope and cool. You know, we used to work there, so it's very different.
Very different.
So we're talking about it, and I can't help but look at the crowd and the people working there. That
That's
it's a
what I was
good
gonna ask
it's a good
you.
amount of white people.
Gentrification central, right
no,
there.
but it's owned by colored people.
Is it?
It's owned by a nigga and an Asian dude.
Tell me.
That don't
for
mean
real?
any gentrification.
So
No, it's a hipster. It's a hipster spot. So
it,
like, I mean,
it looks
that's what it is.
hipsterish.
Is-
No,
there's
it
like
is. It's a
skateboards on the
hipster.
back of the chairs.
It's a
and
hipster
shit? Yeah.
restaurant. It's everything about it is hipster, but the owner is there's three owners.
Mhm.
There is a white guy
Yep.
who's the least minority owner,
Okay.
and then it's an Asian dude and a black dude.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I mean, because I won't frequent it if I
Yeah.
didn't know if it was owned by people of color. That's why I don't fuck with Ogie's,
Oh.
Olga's, or whatever. Ogie's trailer,
Yeah.
fuck that place. I've been there once. Their food is good, but owned by white people.
Mm.
It's a trailer park. we don't live in those. Fuck them. And like anything that's on Broadway, pretty much.
Problematic.
Huh?
You're problematic.
I'm not problematic. How many?
You are kind of.
Is this what the people can expect on the podcast? Raw.
Listen, I talk shit.
Pre-game.
I talk shit. The only black people I ever seen that lived in a motherfucking trailer park were on the bully documentary. The young lady, she was one of the victims of bullying who like took it upon herself to bring a gun on a school bus. Her family live in a trailer park. It wasn't even a trailer park. They live in a trailer like a mile away from the trailer park. But like, I'm not fucking going to some elitist hipster, white bread. I serve you hash browns with your burger. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. I want French fries. Don't sit there and serve me different types of potatoes.
Yo,
Get the fuck. If you ain't gonna serve me some curly fries, at least get the fuck out of here with these sides, nigga. Give me some vegetables.
So
fuck Ogie's Trailer Park.
I get it.
Straight up. I'll be problematic, Jen.
I was about to say that's not problematic at all.
It's not problematic at all. Change the whole shit up because you don't like hash browns with your cheeseburgers, nigga.
That is kind of wild, though.
Yeah, that's white. That's kind of white. Call it what it is, Bim. You
Nah,
got your
nothing
shirt
about
buttoned
this-
all the way up to the top.
Nothing
It's
about
white.
this is problematic. Nah.
Fuck out of here with that shit.
So, we're sitting there having dinner and looking around and I have to be honest and say sometimes I don't see really what's wrong with gentrification. Sometimes.
Oh man, this
Now,
is
now listen,
problematic.
listen.
I say we jump
But
him.
again,
Jump this nigga right
For the
now.
first time tonight, I'm actually on your side.
Yeah,
No, listen.
You on my side, bro.
damn.
Listen. Okay,
Man, just
so like I
wild.
understand, and I had this conversation with Clarabelle, and I understand what happens with it. The person comes in, buys such and such things, moves all the other people out, and displaces them, and charges a whole bunch of shit, and it makes the area worse for those people who were living there. So I guess rather than I don't mean to say is I don't see a problem with it is okay. So how do we or what do we do to make those areas better before gentrification hits it?
So
First, I need you to rewatch Menace to Society.
Mm.
Number one, no shade.
No, it's all right.
that's a little shade.
No, it's all right.
Yeah,
All boys
It's
in
all
the
right.
hood.
you
It's
know,
all right. Get him.
It's all right.
but or Boys in the Hood. But here's the problem with gentrification is it pushes people out. It raises the cost of living. It raises the rent for people who have lived there. And now where do we go?
Right.
And more importantly, just let me add this because I can be serious, even though I'm the fucking token comedian. It gives white people the illusion that they understand us.
Absolutely.
And
like I said, this is the first time I'm agreeing with you wholeheartedly because they did that to the Broadway community
Yes.
in Providence.
Yes.
Get your shit
And then
off.
they made like a whole website
Yeah.
for Broadway. And they
Fuck
I forgot
Ogies.
what they called it. It wasn't the,
The West
End.
Side.
It was
West
West Side.
Side.
Thank
West
you.
Side.
West
They called
Side,
it the
girl, I
West
got
Side of
you.
Providence. It's like we don't call
They did
it
a
that.
whole infomercial on it.
Can I
They
tell you
did.
guys
It was
something? I've
terrible.
been
Yeah,
shot
terrible.
at on the west side of Providence. That ain't
Right.
that's some fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, so then again, how do we make these areas better before?
Gentrification.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
before they come
problem.
in.
That's kind of goes
They
to the
was
conversation
they
we were
was
having
good, though.
upstairs. We were having a conversation about people being happy about living in the hood and living in the struggle and somehow
Oh, we were talking
attaching
about
that
upstairs.
to their identity.
Yes.
We started having that
Right.
conversation upstairs. And when we have to get the people who get out of the hood to come back to the hood
Boom.
and do better.
That's it.
So
And
here-
that answers your question. That's what we got to
And
do.
off of that, I can't remember who said it. I wish I did because it was so profound. Artists, anyone who makes a good amount of money and leaves. You go and live in Calabasas. You go and live in New Jersey.
Fuck us up.
Was that
What
Roxanne Shante?
I can't remember who it was.
Could have been.
But-
she's doing the same thing in her hood.
What they should be doing, yes, you can go and live out there, but buy 2 or 3 properties where you used to live.
It's funny. I
Right.
saw a meme about that today.
Right,
Yeah.
because when you do that, you're investing. You're not just trying to price gouge people for rent, right?
Yeah.
It'll be because you can buy
It's
the,
yours.
You
You
can buy the
can manage
property at a low enough rate, right? You make it look nice because you actually care about the community,
Yeah.
and you charge reasonable rent.
Absolutely.
Market.
Can I tell you,
rent.
Section 8 is the number one come up. That's guaranteed rent.
Yeah.
People be
Right.
like, I don't want to rent to Section 8. The money that you would make from Section 8
He
would
knows.
cover any repairs you have to
Comes
pay.
from
You
right
are
out of the government.
You are
Right.
correct.
Yeah, man.
Until you have those piece of shit people.
No,
on
Darren,
set.
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But
don't
even
do that.
even
Don't
with
do
that, even with that, the thought of guaranteed income, would you rather have a Section 8 tenant or a college student?
Right, because there are piece of shit college students. There are
College
pieces of
students are the
nonsense.
fucking worst.
There's people like my tenant that I had in Massachusetts tore the whole house up. Wasn't Section 8.
Yeah.
Tore the whole crib up. So it's you
It's
just
a gamble
scream.
regardless.
It's a gamble
Being a
regardless.
landlord is a gamble.
Yes.
And that's why it's easy for me to understand why a lot of motherfuckers become slumlords. Because they're like, yo,
'Cause they're
these-
just interested in the
yeah,
profit.
these people just need a place. They need a roof over
I don't
their head.
care,
They don't
yeah,
care about building
this
a home.
whatever.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny? I saw a
Exactly.
thing today.
Exactly.
It was like when I was getting dressed. It was in passing, and they were like they're making more laws, basically to help the tenants if they have a problem with their
Landlord?
apartment, which is important. Like if you have mice or you have infestation, you should be able to fight that without having to still pay rent.
Right.
But in giving people that protection, there's people who are gonna abuse that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now
Yeah.
they're like, I'm not gonna pay rent for 6 months because I know how the justice system is backed up. And I know the courts are backed up.
Yeah.
So now you have to sit there and fight them and prove that there's no mice in your place.
Yes.
And you don't even know if they brought the mice.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it sucks for landlords in that specific
It's
in that
tough
space.
to be a landlord.
I
I
mean,
don't
it's
want
a gamble. I mean, this past last week, I ended up spending $1,200 at in Pawtucket, and it was just like,
How many properties do you own?
this one.
Just one other one
multifamily,
outside of this one?
Mhm.
Okay.
And so it's like, I try to be an honest landlord. Like, you call me with a problem, I try to address it.
He is.
Yeah. But you have those people who are
Who take
take
advantage, bro.
advantage of
Yeah.
it,
Fucked
which
up.
makes it more difficult for you.
Absolutely.
And there's the was it housing housing
HUD?
authority or whatever.
Yeah.
HUD. So
It's-
you have those people.
It's
who,
in favor of the tenants. Yeah.
And
Okay,
yeah,
that's
the problem.
great.
Yeah.
But then you have those people who, okay, it goes by your income and la 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 la. You're there, and then you're like, all right, let me do something with the system. So I'm gonna have so and so live with me. He's gonna do shit on the table, and then they ruin the whole thing for everybody,
Yeah.
and then drag down the place. Sorry. So again, I keep going back to is what do we do to make this better?
So what we do, right, as a landlord who actually cares, your contract has to be ironclad, right?
Yep.
It has to be super on point. Yes, there's going to be a period where you have to prove whatever the issue is to get them out. But if you, the problem with gentrification is the fact that it's driving people out. It's beyond market value rent, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to drive everything
not
else up.
affordable.
Slumlords in New York and wherever else, they'll keep it shitty so that somebody else can buy their property at a premium because the neighborhood is up and coming. But it screws everybody, right?
Yep.
So that's the issue with it. If people genuinely cared about the neighborhood, you make it look nice, right? If everybody on the block makes it look nice, that alone raises the property value. So if you don't care about the property value, these people own most of Rhode Island who don't even live in Rhode Island. So they'll own stuff in Providence, Woonsocket, and Central Falls, wherever. They don't live here. They don't care.
They live in Florida.
Exactly. So if people actually who are from those places buy properties there, that's why I stress ownership with people. Buy the properties there. You will care about your property more than somebody who's living in Florida. You guys all take care of your property. That raises your property value because that's what we want as owners. You have a responsible tenant. They have a decent rent. Everything looks nice, and then that spreads. So you have to actually care about the property. Gentrification will just get everybody the fuck out of there and bring in the college students and the hipsters and all that shit and pay
And
a
the
premium.
fucking cupcakeries and all
Can
that
I say
bullshit.
something else though?
Yeah, go ahead.
We look at Chicago and we're like, what happened? What happened in Chicago? Well, Chicago had over, I want to say 50,000 families living in a fenced off project,
Yep.
right? So there was the laundromat, there was the liquor store, there was the grocery store, all within this fenced off area. So they saw nothing else besides black people in this area.
Yeah.
And then the mayor or the governor, I can't remember who, lived in there and saw what it was like and was like, we can't do this. So they dispersed them all over the thing. But after at least a decade of them living in this enclosed quarters,
Yeah.
they were released out into everything.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, something like being fenced off into an area doesn't happen without gentrification happening first.
Okay.
And we have to be very careful because people being pushed out forces people to say, well, where are these people going to go? We're still getting money as a state through HUD and Housing Authority and all of this stuff. Where are we going to put them? We are still obligated to our contracts.
Right.
Where are we going to put them? We're going to build. Most people don't know that projects were originally built for military families. They were not built for low income.
people to
They
live,
were built for
and they were-
military
yeah.
families for temporarily.
There was no long-term sustainability plan for projects.
Right, and
when they
projects are
first
not
were-
supposed to be a long-term plan. Instead, you have generations growing up in projects.
Yeah.
That's where you have the people idolize the struggle.
Yeah, the mentality. They think it's
You know
cool.
what's funny?
Exactly.
Is no shade to you, Darren, because I love you. I've
love
known
you
you
too, Darren.
forever. But you're kind of a gentrifier because you live out here next to the beach, but even your property's in Pawtucket. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're black, but
yeah.
at the same time,
I feel attacked too.
I'm just
But I
saying.
care about my
But
property.
you know
I
what
do
mean?
too,
Because-
yeah.
Because
But
he doesn't live in the neighborhood where he
Yeah.
he's
Well,
he
it's not my
owns.
community.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if he's
Exactly.
the same as a
That's where she's
gentrifier
coming
who's
from, and I
like,
agree.
I don't care about the lawn here as much as I care about getting my rent. He's the same as, it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be a white person
get it.
gentrifying.
I
Right.
get it.
But
You get what I'm saying? So when he's asking what's the big deal, that's how it is.
That's
Like
what
the
it looks like.
gentrifiers are
Yeah.
asking, well, what's the big deal? I'm
Right.
buying this property, I'm renting it out. What's the problem?
I'm bringing
And-
jobs in,
And,
and,
you're,
da, da, da,
and
da,
I'm,
da,
I'm
da,
bringing
da,
a place that's a place that's good to
Yeah.
live in.
Yeah.
And the problem is, you're not part of that community.
Yeah,
So
Got it.
you know what I'm saying? So you don't care
I
if
think-
the person who lives in your building has a job in that city where they can get to with public transportation.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's you're just kind of removed from the situation is really what I guess I would say.
I get it.
I agree.
I would agree with that, but I would also say like the term gentrifier is a strong term, especially to use towards a black man who's from the city, the inner city, and moved out.
I agree with that
I
too.
think more of the better term would be an outsider.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and right at this point, he's an outsider looking in, whereas a gentrifier.
You're not in the
really-
hood no more, Darren.
Yeah, but the
You
Yeah,
either
yeah.
Bim.
Southside,
niggas-
man. Washington
Yeah,
Park,
we
what it
grew up
is,
over there,
huh?
yeah.
Now
You don't
with
know
that
that.
hat.
Come on.
Nah.
Don't do that. Don't do
BRB.
that.
But,
Not
but
with them shoes
a
either.
gentrifier really
And
doesn't.
not with this house, Darren. Nigga, you got a TV on top of a TV. You ain't been broke since the 90s, nigga.
Listen, I've been broke. I'm
No,
broke.
you
I'm
ain't
broke
been
now.
broke since the
I'm broke
90s.
now. I
But
don't have
you
no
got,
money.
you own property, so you got capital,
Oh,
nigga.
You right.
Sorry, Bree was making a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Way
right.
to deflect.
I think-
this
I
nigga
think
could have been a lawyer.
to-
Are you a lawyer? What's his name?
well,
My eyes hurt.
He said, but Bree was making a point. So.
Yes.
he can't help himself. This is what he does.
I'm an asshole.
Oh.
Sorry.
The thing I wanted to say is that there are landlords who live in the city who don't give a damn about their tenants.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So to say that you are a gentrifier because of that, I think there's a
bullshit.
definition of a gentrifier, and it's someone who doesn't understand the culture, doesn't understand the history of the place that
Doesn't
they're living in,
understand
and
the
they just
culture.
want to change that because they want to grab something and make it their own.
Right.
So they ignore, the history of it, the culture of it, all of those things, and I hope you're not that.
No, they're
No,
not.
no, no.
No,
man.
but
Well, so, and I,
Yeah, so you like to your point, Jen is she used the wrong word. Outsider is more appropriate because there are people of color who own property in Prov,
Right.
in Pawtucket, in Woonsocket, in Warren, in Central Falls, but they live in Johnson, they live
Yeah.
in Cranston,
Yeah.
in West Cranston,
Right.
they live in fucking Warwick, they live, Barrington, all of these other cities that are more affluent, but their roots remain in the cities where they own
Right.
property. You know what I'm saying? They're just not there anymore, but they're not slumlords.
Right.
yeah,
They
I
take
think
care
that's
of their
the
property.
biggest thing is
They're
not a slumlord.
accessible.
So
Like,
maybe
you
it's
know
more
what I
of a conversation. So maybe we, as landlords, my goal is to become a landlord.
Yeah.
To
God
be
bless.
honest.
Talk to us. We get you.
So maybe as a
him.
landlord, we become part of the neighborhood associations,
Right.
and we big up those
You should.
programs to help.
If
the
you're a
people
landlord and you're
that
not,
we-
then you're doing a disservice.
we big up those programs to help the people that we rent to, especially when we rent to HUD and the housing authorities throughout the state and throughout in different cities.
Yeah.
So that's how we give back and big up the neighborhood. We become a presence in the neighborhood so that those little kids now see people who, oh wait, this is a black person who owns this property.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh wait,
It becomes empowering.
this is a person from this neighborhood that owns this, and they don't just come by to see us. They don't just
Yeah.
come by to check their property. They come by to say what's up or to play basketball with
Right.
us. Or we need to take a more active role within our communities to
Makes sense.
to kind of change that perspective.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. That's dope.
I feel like we got to
This
plug
been
up.
awesome.
Yeah.
There's
We-
been highs
we
and
incite-
lows.
we incited
Oh,
a riot.
this is great.
So for those listening to us, thank you for
Yeah,
tuning in.
Bim,
once
Bim
again.
ain't shit. We'll definitely be back
No,
because Bim
he loved every minute of it.
Oh yeah, two claps,
wait,
two claps.
My man, hey, big
Ah!
up. Wait, pregame podcast.
Pregame
Gotta
podcast.
say every time I do it, pregame
Ah,
podcast.
let's go.
Yes, sir.
I got
Nigeria, stand up.
We here, dog.
Gentrification. I got a clip to show you guys.
Uh-oh.
But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to us.
You
Make sure
already
you
know,
follow
man.
us.
Thank
on
you. Please
our-
delete
yes,
this podcast.
thank you for joining us.
This is
Indeed.
episode 53?
55.
55.
Yeah.
Shout out to fucking Please Delete This
Yay.
episode 55, man.
Hey.
Make sure you follow us on social media platforms.
Please
PLS
do.
DLTHIS.
We're gonna promote the fuck out of this.
Yes.
Oh yes, we are.
It's a-
On Twitter, the same handle. On YouTube is Please Delete This. On Facebook is Please Delete This. Not follow, but listen to us on any one of the streaming platforms you're a part of: Spotify, Speaker, iTunes, iPod, Google Play, iHeartRadio, all the other shit. Again, big up to the Pregame Podcast for joining us this week.
you already know.
Can we get
Yes.
y'all social medias and
Absolutely.
whatnot?
Go ahead.
Look,
Bree.
Bree's like,
My Instagram is B Brito. That's BBRITTO.
Yeah.
Are you related to Bobby?
Everybody says that.
Are you though?
Jeez, yes.
He's related to everybody.
Wait,
She got
wait.
so mad.
She got so-
Everybody says that shit.
Yes,
so,
yes, I
yeah.
am.
Yo,
Yeah.
No, because it's crazy because we're
He's
related
so light.
because his
I love you, Bobby. Don't hate
Bobby,
me.
my brother.
I love you,
no, but
Bobby.
my mom's lighter skinned than he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's facts.
So his grandfather, Johnny Brito, the
Mm-hmm.
great Johnny Brito hookshot, you know what I'm saying? He and my great grandfather were first cousins.
Right.
Shout
So
out
yes,
to Johnny, man.
we are related.
The interesting thing, and I was just thinking about this because I was kicking with Bobby last week. Y'all always know exactly how you're related to who.
Oh yeah, because
have to.
because
They're
we
Cape
go
Verdean.
over people's houses. We go over people's houses, and as they're feeding us, they say, "Who's your family? Who's your mom?
That
What's your last
extended
name?
family is
Yeah.
extended, my
Yo,
nigga.
word.
Listen,
You
I
gotta
found out
know.
one of my college friends
Was my
cousin.
Yeah.
I said I went over her grandmother's house, and it
Dating
was like,
must be hard
who's
for
your
you
family?
in Rhode
Who's
Island.
this? Who's that? Listen, I have to be honest with you.
Yeah,
For
she
that
can't get on
reason,
her
I don't
Issa
date
Rae.
Cape Verdeans.
She can't get on her Issa Rae. Who are you rooting for tonight, Issa? Everybody black. She can't do that. She can't date that way.
She can't date that
She
way.
can't because she gonna fuck around and literally hump on her cousin.
My bad. What was your Instagram again? Sorry.
It's B Brito, BBRITTO.
That's easy. Okay.
Yes.
Follow you right now.
Yeah. So
Brother
follow
Wole.
me on Instagram.
Yes. So Wole does stand up on Instagram and Twitter, and then it's my first name Wole inverted as LE space WO Lewo on Facebook. I did that because I was getting in trouble for the shit that I was posting for my last job.
Yeah, he got a
Wole
page
does stand
page.
up, huh?
He got a page on Facebook. You guys want to add me on Facebook? I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
It's just Briana, not Brianna, Breanna, Briana Brito on Facebook. And I changed my Twitter, so I can't tell you guys. I don't remember.
What sneaky stuff you doing on Twitter?
No, I mean,
Discreet.
when you guys
Tuesday.
invite us back, I'll let you know exactly what I changed it to. But right now, I can't remember.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to share this clip with you because I thought it was great.
I don't get the bust down Tatiana. I missed that.
Who's singing this though?
As if we're going to talk.
We can't have shit. Why couldn't they do a reenactment of R. Kelly's interview yesterday with Gayle King? Why they gotta do Tatiana? Hate these niggas, man. I mean these wiggas.
Okay.
That's what gentrification sounds like.
Yo,
That is an audio representation.
that's what having a
of gentrification.
cupcakery in your neighborhood sounds like.
What the fuck?
That's what having
Armando
a
is
fucking
definitely turned into Joe's.
yo for no reason. Like
Yo.
nigga, who's Joe?
Who is Joe?
Who is
So,
that nigga?
Armando moved to Pawtucket.
He did.
Just in case you guys wanted
And
to
he
know.
got-
No,
And
he
he-
is. There's
and
one
he-
on Elmwood.
Yeah, he moved to Pawtucket first,
And
and then he
moved back
opened
to
up
Elmwood.
another spot on Elmwood.
The fire
all the
there,
way up
the
by
food
the-
there is
by the
fire.
Roger
Pawtucket
Williams.
though is bigger, and he
Yes.
got the pigs there, like for real.
chilling.
And he
they-
got the
they-
Armando smell.
Yeah, there is the smell.
They have a deli. You can get sliced fried cheese in there. That was
I seen
big.
that.
That was a big deal when I found that.
You can
out.
sit
Sliced
and
fried
eat.
cheese sounds like you on the toilet.
No, fried cheese
No, it
is
doesn't.
amazing. I'm
Fried
not even.
I don't. I
Dominican.
can't do dairy like that. No.
I'm
nigga,
not.
what
I'm
the
not.
fuck?
I'm not
It's
Dominican,
an
but fried
occasion
cheese
thing.
is
Fried
amazing.
cheese is-
Because
Cape Verdeans love cheese.
I bought the fried
So-
cheese.
Yeah, see, she knows.
So-
What the fried cheese and did what?
You have
I
to
bought the
wrap
fried
up.
cheese and you have to slice it yourself.
to
But if you
go-
go to Armando's, they slice it for you and then you just fry it.
You can go to Armando's with whatever. And they'll
So you
slice it
buy
for you.
fried cheese
What?
to fry it?
Well, no, you buy cheese and then you fry it.
It's a specific type
It's a
of
specific.
cheese.
Yeah.
You can't just
Queso
fry any
blanco.
old kind of cheese. You'll fuck up your
No.
pan. But
You buy
fried
queso
cheese,
blanco.
queso de frie,
Oh, queso de frie.
Fancy.
Okay.
and then you put it in the
That
pan.
niggas is wild.
Boom. Put some butter in the pan. But oh my god, fried cheese is amazing.
You have to try.
Shout out to
fried
my
cheese.
Dominicans.
Real quick, does the podcast have a social media?
Yes, so you can follow us on www.soundcloud.com/the Pregame Podcast, or you can follow us on Spreaker Studio.com, Spreaker Studio / the Pregame Podcast.
If you follow us, you'll be the first to know about new episodes. That way, you won't be left behind when
Yeah.
everybody else is talking about them.
Yes. Like and share and comment. And
Yeah,
Please.
like, share, comment, subscribe.
I'm actually gonna go and listen from the first episode and make my
Don't
way
do
all the way
that.
through.
Don't
I am.
do that.
I have to. I
Brother,
have to.
I listened to a couple
the
episodes
first
and I was
40
like, this is
episodes
really
are
cool.
garbage.
But I gotta hear the growth
It's garbage.
with the F.
Yes.
Listen, it's gonna take a long. It's gonna
Shout out
take
to
you
the
a long
culture,
time.
growth.
Word.
Yeah, for real. I gotta listen to the GOROWF, nigga. I gotta
So
hear the growth.
there's two that I'm seeing. Are they both you?
No, the one with the white background
lost
is
it.
us. The white background and the black lettering. That's the
That one.
The pregame podcast right there. Bang, got it.
Yes.
Make sure you follow.
And we gonna
Show some love.
We gonna.
Yes.
I mean, I already listened to
So
like
there's
2
this one.
episodes with y'all crazy motherfuckers. I gotta
We
listen
out
to-
here.
I wanna go. You are out here.
We out here, beloved. Nah, we appreciate y'all coming through, man. Like,
yes.
this is a union for real with the podcast
Yes,
game.
yes, yes.
And
yes.
providing entertainment, man, at the
For
end of the
sure.
day for people.
I'm gonna talk to y'all about something that I'm trying to put together at the end of this year off air.
Hey, yes, sir.
Word.
And Bree,
Haha,
we
you guys
gonna
don't get
talk.
to
We
hear.
gonna talk tech, Bree, because you could do this. This ain't nothing.
And
Yes.
also,
I love to learn.
We
Yeah,
love
I got you.
karaoke, and we do karaoke whenever we can.
Oh,
so
I'm
next
coming.
time we do karaoke, y'all gotta come.
Yes.
Oh, also, we're going to the movies on the 22nd.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, do that again.
Field
Yes.
trip?
Yeah.
Oh, let's do it.
Yo,
We're all about field trips.
what's more lit than a field trip when you always have money on the field trip?
Word, yo.
Because you as your mom
What's
give you
more lit
$5.
than that?
She
I
give you
cannot
$5
wait.
whole
We're going on a field trip.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
nigga, I'm showing out. I'm gonna have my new outfit.
My
I ain't
mom
gonna be
never
able to
gave
sleep
me
on the
money for the
21st.
field trip.
I ain't
Aw.
gonna be able to sleep on
My
the
mother was
21st.
Also-
like, if it didn't say it in the paper that they sent home, then you don't
No
need
money.
Listen.
Also, shout out to Chip Doug. I see the shirt.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. And we
Shout out to
see
Chip,
how
my
we out
neighbor.
here with the
Yeah,
cups.
y'all out here. Do more. Chip Doug. Hey, man, sell your shirts more than when you do shows, nigga. He knows. He live in the same house as I do. I'm on the second floor, he on the first floor. Chip Dog, no. Go ahead.
No, we're going to the movies on the 22nd to see Us. We're still.
Oh, it's gonna be so lit. Yo, I'm not sitting nowhere near any of you niggas though. I gotta sit in there.
You want to cry by yourself?
I'm not gonna cry.
You scared?
What?
You
Yo,
scared?
you're seeing me in the snow, nigga. I'm sick of you with your red blue forces. Hey, are you a Power
They're
Ranger or a
not
VR Trooper?
They're not forces. They're Jordans.
Are
I told
you
you when
a
you got
Power
here.
Ranger or
They're
a VR
Jordans.
Trooper?
Yo, he called her a
VR
VR
trooper.
trooper.
But wait,
They're
you
Jordans.
Trooper.
We are
Jordans.
Yeah, come on, man.
Jordans.
Are you a big bad Beetleborg or are you a
They're
Power Ranger?
Jordans. I don't even know
Are
what that
you
means.
Power Ranger in time, Power Ranger in space, galaxy? Like, come on,
I'm
man.
a shoe person. They're Jordans.
I'm a shoe porn, the Jordans.
I said
With a
Oh my
T.
God.
with a T. Period.
With a
So we're giving away 2 tickets to us, right? At some
I
point.
thought it was
I don't know what's happening.
How many? We're giving tickets. Some
Yo,
amount.
what's
We'll figure it
happening
out.
is I knew exactly when I watched the clips. I was like, "Yo, when I get on their podcast, I'm gonna
going for
be-
her.
I know. It's not. I'm going. I know I'm gonna have beef with the female.
because
with
you
the
talk
woman.
shit. So you
I-
know yourself is the problem.
We have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
Look at all the
threats-
finger.
Your threats don't even. They're not even threatening. Your arms are too short. Like, nigga, what are you
I got
Oh,
long
shit.
arms.
Guys, we'll
I
see.
mean,
Guys,
I just don't hit.
Hey guys, we'll talk to you next week.
We love
gotta
y'all.
go.
Yo, again,
PTD.
Pregame
Thank you,
Podcast.
PTD.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. This
Thank
was
you for
fire.
joining us.
Bree, Wole, yo, fire.
Bree,
Thank
Bree.
y'all.
And Sunday, then we going?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sunday. I gotta check with you. Know what I'm saying,
I
but
mean.
if so, I'm in there.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Let
yeah.
me know. Let me know because
Bree,
I
you're
love a
going.
great comedy show.
He's coming to get me.
That's right.
And the thing is,
Look at 'em.
what I said
We out
was,
here. I'm picking ass up.
I've said this to you guys before. I love comedy shows
Yes, you do.
because either way, you have a great time.
Word.
Either the comedians are great and you laugh, or they suck and you laugh.
Facts.
So there's no losing in going to a comedy show. I love
And
comedy
it's
shows.
$10, you broke
It's about to be
motherfuckers.
good
It's
comedy
2019.
anyway.
It's
So
support
regardless,
one of
you'll
our own.
enjoy the company
Yeah.
that
And the
you're in.
comedy connection,
absolutely.
black
Yo, I'm
comedians.
telling y'all, when I blow
We're
up,
just
all y'all
talking.
got free
It's
tickets.
just-
Hey,
If y'all
it's
come
like-
on Sunday, I guarantee you, when I blow the fuck up and I'm one of the top comics in New England, which is my goal by 2020,
I know
God
that's
bless.
I'm
right.
already halfway there.
God
Let's
bless.
do
I'm
it.
already halfway there. I'm funnier than every nigga that's on the show on Sunday.
Let's
I
do
guarantee
it.
it, including the headliner.
Let's do it.
That's not hyperbole. I'm not being facetious. I'm not being cocky. I know that I'm that funny.
And that's what
Oh,
you need.
he
to
also
do.
uses $5 words.
Hey, for those of us that are
I
not
need
gonna
to
make
use some
it.
$2 straightener for her.
Ooh,
Yo,
God.
don't hate.
Hey, wait.
I'm not.
We gotta go.
Yo! Hey! On that note,
So
PDT.
what I was saying
Oh,
was,
just do more.
go check out the comedy. The comedy.
Yes.
What time do the doors open?
Doors open at 7 o'clock. Please get there before 8 o'clock. Do not be on color people time.
Word.
Fuck that CPT shit. Get there early because you can get your little seat, get your little
Yep.
food. Get there by 7:45 at the latest if you come.
It's a
And-
small, intimate setting.
Absolutely, and tell them that you're there to see me kill the shit.
And you're going to have the time of your life.
It's great.
Yeah.
Word.
Support one of our own, Rhode Island Stand Up.
Dr. Reed.
Guys,
Yes,
we'll talk to you
yes.
next weekend.
Peace.
Yeah.
Hey.
I gotta make sure it's,
Good shit, y'all. Yeah, we gotta flick it up.
Absolutely.